The world, our economy is going to be, well, you're in this field. Let me get my computer straight. I'm wondering how much of the world's economy is going to be dedicated towards compliance. And by compliance, I just don't mean regulatory compliance like in your industry doing taxes and all that, but also having to click on yes, I'll accept cookies. Yes, I'll do double entry verification. All this compliance just to get to either a news article or order something on the internet or access your accounts. It is going to slow down the economy that there's no way. Already we were not able to pay off the national debt, but there is no way we are going to, I think, even get to the point that standards of living are going to increase significantly year to year. It is just going to be a long, hard slog with all this login. And so I'm very up because I'm trying, as you know, I'm trying to set up a bank account, and that is that the compliance cost there, the time and everything is very frustrating. So
I'll give you a micro example. I was just thinking about this today. When I first got started doing what I'm doing on my own, 2013, 2014, like there's a lot of stuff I do that you don't see, like on the back end to make sure it can get submitted.
right.
None of that existed 6 or 7 years ago. It was just you do it, looks good, send it on through. Now there's like a million things you have to do to verify somebody's identity, and that's just a small part of it.
So it is not my theoretical future banker being a dick. It's that's just what federal compliance, because the last time I had to set up a business checking account, it was nowhere near this laborious.
I think
so is this the case?
Yeah, at least in my opinion, everything's becoming like this. Everybody's trying to cover their asses, and everything's getting harder. Let's face it.
I thought having an EIN number and proof that I filed at a certain state Secretary of State would be proof enough to said bankers that, oh, this is the guy, there's his ID. I had to scan in passports. I had to get operating agreements that I didn't even know existed and all this other stuff. And something in the 50s that took maybe 3 minutes and a handshake to complete is now a 3-hour process. And of course, forget the burden of federal regulations that no doubt is what I'm running with, which is not the banker's fault. But we're starting to get a little Wyoming 3 creep in because they misspelled my name on the legal documents. And I'm like, okay, before I sign these,
Seller,
Cleary.
Like Beverly Cleary. She wrote those
right?
children's books. Yeah. Nice.
It's very clear to be Cleary. And I said, before I sign this, how important is it to you're all anal retentive. How important is it that my name is spelled correctly on these documents? Oh, and I'm just like, man, I just got to get over this hurdle to get that bank account set up and never have to deal with this again. Never. And so, it's been a day like that. So
I was just saying, when I counsel people about people who have to do what you've been doing for the very first time, and I walk them through it, I always preface the bank part with, this is the worst part of this entire process. You have to go to the bank. And yes, that's worse than the post office. So that's what I tell people.
Oh, the post office was fine. I had no problem with the post office. It's just because I don't know if you guys knew this. If you don't have a bank account, you could have the EIN number. You could have the legal entity set up. You could have your corporation. If there ain't no bank account, there's nowhere for your money to come into, let alone pay out. So you're dead in the water. And it's just, I'm wondering if the Baltics are a little bit more streamlined, because I've heard good things about them and read articles about their tax system. And they just seem to be a logical quasi-Nordic Scandinavian culture where it's like, no, everything's streamlined and automated, and we're not dicking around with this docket, that. It just seems to be a younger society that doesn't have time for the BS.
Yeah, man, because that's all we got now is BS. For whatever reason, it seems like things are getting more difficult every day. Maybe I'm just saying that because it's tax season, but
Well,
I've been feeling that way.
I have 5 observations. Would you like to hear one? Because it's germane to the top. I was going to go over our observations. Observations of Aaron in the desert. Would you like to hear one of them?
Yeah, is snow in the desert one of them, or am I hallucinating?
Well, that's another one. We'll talk on that later. But as it pertains to things getting worse, as I said, and I know, the average quality of your average human is getting lower and lower and less competent, to the point we will be in an idiocracy within our lifetime. Not 500 years like in the movie. We will see it. You're going to have such dumb, tarded people brought up. They're not going to be able to function. And it's already starting to creep in because I had to mail you some documentation. Or no, I had to mail the IRS some documentation while setting up this company, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to get one business size envelope. And I remember at the Office Depot, you could go and get like a pack of 5 for like 50 cents or something like that, right? Do you know the smallest increment that you can buy business envelopes at the Office Depot?
Smallest increment meaning like the cheapest. Explain that real quick.
The count, the number of envelopes. What's the smallest count of envelopes you can get at the Office Depot?
I'm gonna say maybe 100. Is that the smallest?
100 is the smallest. And I'm like, I don't go through 100 of these things in a year, let alone 10. I'm like, what? Why do I? Is there not an easier way? So I ended up going to the post office and just buying one for $2 because it's cheaper than the $30 that they wanted for freaking 100.
Well, now you got the rest of them because you mail so many letters these days.
I mean, so many, right. And so I'm just thinking like, okay, somewhere in the Office Depot's command hierarchy, some dick, some Chad or some Karen, like, oh, dude, bro, but we can't sell like 5. We won't make as much. So we're going to force everybody to buy 100 envelopes. And I just kind of like walked out. I'm like, I asked the guy, I said, do you have like 5 or 6 envelopes? Like, can I buy one? For even an egregious, I'll give you $1 for one. I don't need 100. No, that's the least amount we got. I'm like, well, what's that?
One time I needed 1 envelope just to mail somebody a check, and this is 50. This is the smallest amount I could find. 50. Okay. So I'm with you. I see this all the time.
Do you see this? What's that?
I think it's a mouse.
It's a mouse. You see what's coming out of it?
A wire?
Why do I want a wired mouse? I just bought this like 30 minutes ago. Why would I want a wired mouse, Chad?
Were you having some problems connecting with the wireless mouse, or they only?
It's because I was fearing that. But what does a wireless mouse need?
Needs a laptop.
Okay, a wireless mouse.
Oh, sorry, wireless. Needs a battery.
Needs a battery. Do you think any of them came with batteries installed?
Oh, that's just silly.
Do you think I want to F with the driver being installed correctly so the computer recognizes it? Do you think I want to bother with that?
Well, I think you like complicating your life and frustrating yourself.
No, so. I like getting jobs and projects done. But my God, an office supply store doesn't even I had to go to Walmart to get that thing. And it just is the wasted time that if people thought and were mature and weren't dicks, the Office Depot should have wireless mouses. They don't. Why? Because they're going to make more on they should have wire mouses. Why don't they have it? Because they can make more. It was $30 on the cheap for a mouse. $30 for a mouse. I could go to Goodwill and get one for $2 probably.
So the wireless one was $30 at Office Depot.
Oh, they have wireless. That's all they had. You could not get wireless. It didn't exist.
Gotcha. That's interesting. I never thought about that. I actually want to get one because occasionally this thing will crack up and I just don't want to deal with it.
That's exactly why I wanted this here, because I want to be able to move to this mute button because I've been coughing a lot. And when I have to do it on this, it takes too long. So this way I can get to the cough button much more quickly and put together a higher quality show. But the larger point, this is just one microcosmic example of many. If I have to spend an hour to get a wired mouse, that is a lost labor, a significant loss of economic efficiency loss. And if companies are going to be this dickheadish and obtuse and obstructionist to deliver what the population wants, you're going to just slow down the economy because they think they're being clever. Ooh, we're going to make more on the 100 gross of envelopes, where it's just like, dude, could you just give people what they want? Fine, charge them $5 for it for five. That's fine. But the incompetence, the lack of foresight, and the general decrease in quality of individuals, it's starting to permeate everywhere now. And so, I mean, would you like another observation?
Why not?
Okay. Have you noticed? Well, I don't know if you could go to restaurants in Chicago. Can you go to restaurants in Chicago?
Now that the inauguration is over, yes, we can. That recently came out a few days ago.
All right. I've been going to restaurants pretty much the entire time because I don't go to communist states. If you have dined, okay, for example, I got a bagel and lox at this deli I like to go to. Now, when you know what bagel and lox is?
No.
Okay, so it's like a bagel. You get some cream cheese on it. They usually put some capers, maybe some diced onions, and then they put thin cut smoked salmon on top of it.
Oh, I have seen that. I just didn't know the name of it. That's good.
Yes, it's very good. I treated myself. Now, here's the question. When you order bagel and lox, Chad, describe the plate and the dish that is served to you, okay? So the waiter or the waitress comes out with the bagel and lox. They put it on your table. What should it look like, generally speaking?
I would think you would get it. You get this thing closed or open. Is that where you're going with this? Or?
They're open. Okay. Yeah, you can have like 2 bagel halves on top, or it could be open.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say it's open.
Okay.
What would it look like to you?
Well, if it's open, you'd want to see the cream cheese on it. It'd be nice if they put the other things you mentioned, and the salmon, I would imagine, should be the last thing, right? Or did they reverse the order?
You could put the right. You know how they did it?
How'd they do it?
They gave me the ingredients to have me assemble my own bagel and lox. And here I am effing with the cream cheese and the capers and the onions. And I looked at it, I'm like, this is taking me 5 minutes. I'm getting all messy. They are getting, and this has happened before. For example, a salad. Let's say you have a chicken salad, Mediterranean chicken salad. How should that look?
Chicken salad should already be served, complete. You're not supposed to put that together, are you?
No. But when you get the bowl, all right, what they've done now, this is every restaurant now that serves a salad. They will have each ingredient of the salad in its own county. It's not mixed. You know how you're supposed to toss a salad? They give you the salad untossed. So you got the cheese all in one place, the
croutons and
olives and the croutons and the lettuce. And then if you're lucky, they'll cut the chicken up in long strips. Do you eat a long strip of chicken like this, Chad, for each bite?
Not typically.
No. So what do you got to do?
You got to do all the work.
You got to further prepare your food. And I guarantee you, it's because some managerial dick, I'm trying not to curse because it's the older brother podcast, some managerial dick over in the restaurant industry says, hey, we could save some time and effort if we just have them assemble it. Like, it saves our chef like 30 seconds to do it. And so now we pass on this. Look, I'm okay with bagging my own groceries because I'm faster than everybody. So that's a benefit to me. But now I'm assembling my own food now when I go to restaurants where I'm paying, a tip as well, and paying the price that they should be serving me the food, and it should be prepared.
Very quick story from my MBA program. There was this course that they forced all of us to take. It was a combo of statistics and like business processes or whatever. And the teacher was so hung up back in the 80s, I think it was, some MBA that went to the same program I went to, which is a real shitty one. Sorry, I can curse. So the guy's like, yeah, we had this one guy here and he got his MBA, and he discovered using data that if they remove just 2 olives from the entire jar, when they process it, that's the optimal. They can remove that and make the most money. And we're all just like, who cares? That doesn't.
See, all right. And I almost guarantee you that psychopath has cost that company more in other ways than managerial losses. Like,
probably.
If your business model is dependent on 2 olives out of a jar, it's over. You're in the wrong business. There was back in the WBL where I used to live, there was a gas station guy, and he was old and he would never upgrade his technology. So I went in to buy a Red Bull, and he had a sign: if the purchase under $5, could you please use cash? And this is like 2017. All right.
Yep,
So
I
I
know
go
where
in
this
with
is
my
going.
card, and he says, "Oh, we'd really appreciate it because of the fees." I said, "Well, I guess you should raise your prices by a nickel, huh?" And he's like, I can't. It's like, it's that stuff. It's that stuff that I just can't tolerate. It's so.
So when I was in Portland, this was over the summer, not most recently. My sister lives pretty close to a Dairy Queen. It's like a 10-minute walk. So I felt like, one of those, I think they're called Blizzards, the Reese's one. They're so good because it was a hot day. Same deal. I walk up there. It was like, I don't know, 5 something. And then it says $10 minimum preferred for credit cards. But this is the best part. Then they listed what their credit card fees were for the previous year. And so I posted this on social media and was like, I've seen way bigger bank fees and credit cards than this amount. So of course I used my credit card because they told me not to, even though I had cash. I'm just a dick.
Would you like another observation I had? Speaking of companies posting stupid crap at their checkout lines.
Why not? I hate companies.
Let us revisit the Office Depot. Okay.
Yeah.
So I go to the Office Depot, which have already failed me now twice. Okay. No mouse, no affordable envelopes. And I did buy something. I forgot what it was, but I'm at the checkout. And they had a thing said some profit, like Aspire. It had some touchy-feely name, aspire.org, helping Black businesses. And then it said, there's a Black guy with a working apron on, and he looked like he was industrious and all that. Donate money to help Black businesses, or African American, what they say. Now, what's wrong with that, Chad? What's wrong? And I want to know if I'm crazy. What is wrong with that?
Well, there's a lot wrong with it. I'm just trying to think of the answer where you're going with here, or like where you're headed.
Don't remove race from it because it's inconsequential. Obviously, Office Depot is doing it because of marketing. Yeah, I would even say that this money, like all these companies, do you want to round up a buck? No, I don't want to round up a buck. Do you want to help out the firefighters, like Firehouse Subs, greatest subs in the world? Do you want to help out the fire department? No, I don't, because we pay taxes for that.
Yeah.
So here there's a difference though between the fire department and St. Jude's Children and Help the Three-Legged Buffalo and all these other nonprofits. What is the problem of help Black businesses, donate money to Black businesses? Remove Black from it though.
Well, just at the top of my head, it's the things that you like to donate to, curing cancer or supporting the firemen. That's for good causes. Like, it's for everybody. I'm not saying you should donate.
Black people in business is a good cause. But go on.
I don't think it's good to be picking and choosing winners when it comes to businesses.
If you need charity to run your business, you're in the wrong business. I don't care what your race is or who you are. But if you need people to give you money, you do not have a business, you have a hobby. And you should get out of that business because you are losing money, because now you are dependent on subsidies, which usually means you're not going to get as much subsidies as you want or charity to make a living at it.
Got another quick story for you about the way they do things here in Cook County. And you might already know this because I bet you've heard of it. They have, in certain industries, mainly construction, that's always a big thing. Anytime they're going to provide a government contract, it's usually state and local government, not federal. Right. Anytime you're going to get that, they give preference to female and minority owned businesses. This is official policy. So at a couple of my, I have a couple of clients that did this. They ended up by chance, they ended up marrying a minority woman. Maybe she was Hispanic or whatever. So what they do instead is they put their company in their wife's name, and of course they're getting preferential treatment. Yeah, so I'm against things like that. There's ways around it, and all it does is just piss everybody off.
Right, but even there's presumably underneath all that a profitable construction business, minority owned or not.
No,
right, and so I'm thinking, like, how dumb do you think your customers are at Office Depot to say, hey, you should donate money to business? It's like, hey, maybe the business shouldn't be in business, and why was it? And then I started thinking about it, And by God, we're getting to an economy where it's not profit anymore. It's all about hobbies and ego employment. And let me
Right.
show you what I mean by this is, okay, if you don't let people fail and the taxpayer then is on the hook to bail you out no matter what it is, then why do we even take the mature, realistic approach of, well, we should produce things that are profitable, that are in demand, and people willingly pay for? For example, bailing out people with their liberal arts degrees. All right. Well, okay, if we're just going to bail you out, then what incentive does anybody have to adhere to the real world demands of the labor market and major in something that's in demand so they can produce goods and services and help advance society? We'll all just major in poetry. We'll all just major in hyphenated American studies. The banks, another perfect, just to show you, it has nothing to do with black-owned businesses or predominantly women majoring in dumb crap. The bank bailout.
Yeah.
All those Dubro white guys should have been in the poorhouse and never allowed to work in banking again. We should have a financial system that's 1/5 the size we got today. Well, let's bail them out. So what? Their entire career, this entire time, we've just been paying these people to play make-believe, profitable adult capitalist? And, subsidies that, like, oh, we run a theater, we get a donation. There was that feminist out in Australia who literally just came out and says, I hate men, and was a genuine misandrist. And then the Australian government couldn't revoke her grant. It's like, why does she get, okay, fine. If it doesn't matter, if we are not going to put our efforts and investment and labor into things that actually society wants, and we're just going to bail everybody out, then there's no economy. It's just, well, how much you want to bet the movie theater industry is going to get bailed out? Instead of letting these theaters collapse, be sold for 15 cents on the dollar, some investment banker or venture capital group comes in, buys them up, and now we got movie tickets for like $4 a pop because they don't have that much of a overhead because they bought the equipment so cheap.
That would probably happen. I mean, these people are always in bed together. It's
right. And so
yeah.
it's all a facade. It's like, do whatever you want, honey. Play. I mean, we're really playing Barbie and Ken dollhouse here. And there's this government money printer gober, and it's like, well, you can just play make believe whatever you want. And inevitably, that what's going to happen is people are going to stop going and majoring in things like the trades or engineering and makes the world go around. And we're all going to be a bunch of navel gazers looking at like waiting for our government bailout so we can like imagine we're in, like, for example, Ocasio-Cortez, before she became whatever, a congressman, she just got government grants to write children's books. Have you read these crappy children's books?
I haven't, but how hard is it to write a children's book?
Well, she's not much smarter than the child, and I'm not kidding. That girl is dumb. She is really dumb. So that was just another observation I had. That was it.
That's a pretty good observation.
I'm observing we got some super chats. I know you got to get going. I got other observations. We'll get to them, but let's get to our super chats here. Do you know this guy?
I do know him. He's actually helping us out right now because there's a kind of a moron in the chat. The goddamn bacon.
I can put him in timeout.
I'll let that. Well, there's a guy in there that keeps asking over and over again, what's coding? Clary, what's coding? Cappy, you have to explain coding. You have to do it now. And,
what's the name?
Oh, Omega Red Fan. One word.
Got him. It's like talking to a girl. How much money did you spend? Well, there was a discount and a sale. How much money did you spend? Okay, go ahead. Goddamn bacon.
Gentlemen, I am here. Let the sin begin. Shout out to Forney in the chat as well.
Was Forney here?
Earlier. Yeah, he was earlier.
Okay, I hope Forney's doing well. I know he shut down his thing. So, and you can find the goddamn bacon at thegoddamnbacon.com. Over here, short, huh?
DJ, $2. John Warner, John McCain, Rhino on the East Coast. Yes, that's the former governor of Virginia, and yes, he sucked. So, yeah. Aaron, Chris for $5. Aaron, you suggested I check out Escanaba, Michigan. I did and got a speeding ticket, but in Menominee, that's a nice town.
Well, good. You speeding does not change the fact that Escanaba is like, if you got to be in Michigan, I thought that town was very charming. And it looks like it might have cheap housing because it looked like a former steel town that just went belly up.
Is that in the Upper Peninsula of
Yeah, it's
Michigan?
on the UP. Yeah, so you get it by driving through Wisconsin.
I gotta go there sometime. $2, DJ Aftershock. By the way, Chad, isn't VCU full of hipster douches? VCU is Virginia Commonwealth University, and it's in Richmond. You know, it used to be that it was, and I'm just saying, it was a more, let's just say, diverse school, like a commuter school.
Uh-huh.
So I would be surprised if it's turned into a like hipster paradise. I haven't been there in 15 years, so I don't know. The goddamn bacon for 243. Wired, fucking everything. Ask me how I know. How do you know?
I don't know.
Dre for $2. Office Depot. Clary doesn't understand our business.
Bid Naz, Dre. If you're gonna get it right. Bid Naz.
Mexi Mike for 5. Stefan Molyneux's A Nation's IQ Matters is a great review of what you're pulling your hair out over. He's a great philosopher for those of you interested. Do you still listen to him at all, or?
Every podcast or content creator I go through, like I'll download literally 20 podcasts of Stefan Molyneux and binge on them. So I binge, and it's been a while. I'll probably pull up Molyneux a little bit more later. But I've been trying to get out of politics and everything. But yeah, Molyneux's right. Your IQ does matter. But I've already talked about this with Wyoming 3, my book, Curse of the High IQ. I'm fully aware of, as your average IQ goes down, you're going to be less and less competent. I run into it every day. I'm acutely aware.
I used to listen to him all the time because he would pop up on YouTube, and I feel bad admitting this. I kind of lost track of him because once he got kicked off of there, I sort of forgot about him. But I know he's on BitChute.
freedomainradio.com. You can download his podcast and everything. I mean, I every once in a while toss him a couple bucks because I believe in the work that he's doing. He's big and he gets access to a lot of young men. He helps them out. So I have no problem helping him out. But yeah, in terms of like listening, it's like right now I'm doing World Class Bullshitters, Beckloff show, documentaries on ancient wars and battles and things like that. I just try and take a break from even red pill philosophy. I mean, that's my job. I don't need to listen to it after that.
Yeah, trust me, man. I'm not sitting around reading the Internal Revenue Code. Like,
hey, by the way, should we donate all the proceeds to Atham here today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do that. All the proceeds go to Atham today, so we'll get Atham because I just want it to be done. I think we got to raise like another $240, and I just want to here's your damn money. I don't have to pay you anymore.
I think the date approaches. Bacon for 308. Choose your own adventure bagels. Winning, no.
That's good. Choose your own adventure bagel. I was sitting there, I had all this crap, and I was hoping someone would come in and say, "How's your food?" I say, "Oh, the food I had to prepare myself. Oh, it's really sucky. Thank you." I was this close to like giving the guys like, take this back and make me an effing bagel and lox. Do not give me the ingredients to make a bagel and lox. Make it for me. It literally was like a McDonald's hamburger. Like, here's the bun, here's the patty, here's your fixings over on this, and I'm supposed to put it together. I really got upset with that.
Is this in Vegas or another place where you
Vegas. I'm in the Southern Command right now. So.
Okay. Let's see who's next. Dre, I got $2. It's person of color, as the great one would say.
It's a person of color, yes.
Person of color.
I remember there was a gal who graduated from the Carlson School of Management, and she was on Twitter or Instagram or something, and somebody sent it to me, and she had like her, I think it was a Philippine flag or maybe it was a Thai flag, and she's just like completely corrupted by America. This POC, I'm like, what's a POC? It's person of color, is about to be your boss, y'all. I'm like, did you? And the Carlson School of Management, and of course she graduated with some, marketing or general management degree. And I just tweeted that out and had all the minions just descend on her and took care of her. And sure enough, I got blocked by her. But I was just like, wow, you actually think your skin color matters? How pathetic and sad. I bet you think your gender matters too. It's just so pathetic. So pathetic.
POC is actually a big tax term for construction accounting.
What does that mean? Project on completion?
Close. It's actually point of construction, because anytime you're starting to depreciate things that are getting constructed, you start the point of construction, like right when they start putting it together.
Oh,
So Gravity Blast, $5. Cappy, just order products online. You can shop by scrolling a web page. Less opportunity cost, no road risk. I haven't been in a store in months. Do you go ahead?
I was going to say Gravity Blast is right, but keep in mind, Gravity, I'm stuck at home, and I got to get out and just go do something. So it's like on my way to get food or whatever. I'll stop at the Office Depot or the Homey Depot or the low, whatever. And you just end up wasting time. But frankly, the only thing what is increasingly becoming a low stress or no stress venture or purchase, like if you go out and physically buy it, do you know what is your best bet to not get agitated through the buying process?
If you're gonna say grocery shopping, I could not disagree more. Could not
because you're in
disagree.
Chicago. No, it's not grocery shopping, though. That's not bad. Because they have self-checkout lines. Fast food.
Oh, you mean
it's completely? Yeah, I gotta weigh it. Like it's unhealthy for me, but so's getting stressed out when they make me assemble my own bagels and lox. So my question is, would I live longer if I got the unhealthy Big Mac, but it was painless, it was stressless, or did I have the somewhat healthier bagel and lox, but I had to assemble it and the stress that came with it? So I've found myself going to fast food more and more simply because I do not have the patience for anyone's BS today. And I want it to get like Sonic. Sonic is a good friend of mine. Taco Bell has become a very good friend of mine because they got their effing act together. What?
Oh, do you still go to Subway?
No, because you got to go in.
Oh,
like they don't drive through. No, they don't.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe somewhere. Yeah, but
gotcha.
So Gravity Blast is right. Like I wasted my time going to find some hiking pants, like with pockets on the side, and $50. At Old Navy, and the Walmart only had super fat man size, not waist 32. So that was a waste of time.
Bacon, this is what we were talking about earlier. 223. Cappy, you need some mods to deal with the rees.
Okay, I'll take care. If there's ever a problem, just let me know. I can mute people. I've banned people before. They'll just come in and it's not even spamming. They're just spurgs and tards, and they just. I think they might be fans, but I'm like, I don't care. You're not messing up the chat room.
Mexi Mike for $2. Dibs on Latin American Studies minor basket. Okay, Latin American Studies minor in basket weaving. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. How much you want to bet in the near future there's going to be a bachelor's degree in social media or like podcasting or content creation, something BS like that? The day is coming.
It sounds to me just like marketing, which to me isn't a real subject or degree. So
it's not.
DJ, $2. He's the dude who made Ollie North lose in 1994. Oh, you're talking about Mark Warner again? Yeah.
We're going back to ancient history. Ollie North, my goodness, that's a long time
ago. Classic Bassman for $10. I feel pretty accomplished today. I woke up a couple hours earlier to do a total upper body workout. I definitely feel like I'm progressing in my fitness goals.
Awesome.
I showed you in Atham that picture of my left arm after the nurse botched taking blood from me the other day. I'm not going to show it here. It looks so bad right now. Like it's all purple. I had to cancel my session with the trainer yesterday. It is horrible. And guess who's never? No, it doesn't hurt as much, but it did yesterday. But guess who's never going to donate blood again because of that terrible snafu?
And I guarantee you, it's because the nurse, whoever it was poorly trained, probably passed along, and is idiocracy manifesting itself. Like it was horrible. I mean, it looked like you just got the ever living crap, and it's just a needle, right? A needle. Now you got to move over to that's your elbow. No, go the other way. Do the opposite of what you think you should do. There you go. Yeah, yeah, it looks horrible. Ugh.
I know. I won't sue them because our dentist friend who knows all about these things says it'll go away, in a few days, and it doesn't hurt. But I mean, how irresponsible is somebody? Somebody's doing something good for society and they manage to bungle it.
Yeah. I had to go give blood to go and check my T levels and all that other stuff. I hate that. But the gal, she got it good. She got it in there. Boom, nothing. Not even give me the little Band-Aid to give you. Nothing. It was perfect. She did a good job.
I mean, I've donated blood for years now, and this is the first time this has ever happened. So, Dre for $2. Have you listened to Kevin Samuels yet? Funny calls. I discovered him recently. He's pretty good. You know who that is?
Donovan Sharp has him on his show. And then Donovan, Kevin Samuels, and some other black podcasters have a black podcast, obviously targeted towards black individuals, but doesn't mean us white boys can't get in there and tune in as well. I just haven't had time to listen to Kevin Samuels. It's kind of like I have a certain amount of time, and then by the time I'm done working out, run around, listen to the podcasts that I normally tune into that are intellectual. And Kevin Samuels is an intellectual one. I would probably enjoy it very much. But you got to be awake to pay attention to Molyneux. You got to be awake to pay attention to Rule Zero guys or something like that. But once that day is over, I'm about to go to bed. Then I'll listen to like British history podcasts, which you don't have to be awake for. You could fall asleep because it always is. We hate the French. Let's go kill them. And so in other words, you have to dedicate some time and some brain power and attention to listen to Kevin Samuels. So before I do that, I'm going to make sure I have the time and the willpower to digest what the man says. I just don't want to superficially audit it and get a feel. I want to listen to what the man has to say.
Okay, DJ for another $5. Yo, Mr. C, throw them C's up for the Carlson School of Management, bro. Yeah, represent YOLO. Throw them up for the Carlson School of Management, bro. Gang, gang.
Yo, gang, gang.
Why couldn't you have taken me for a visit there?
We could. What's funny is, see, I got more work than I can handle right now. And if I ever get deplatformed, doxxed, or whatever, all these other things then become profitable, and I will declare a war on the Carlson School of Management. I will just make a daily video, maybe not daily, but a weekly video on the Carlson School. Like one time the Carlson School posted a video on YouTube and someone sent it to me, and I linked to it in Twitter. I said, hey guys, look, the comments section is open. And like the ratio went down, everyone's downvoting it, and they just tore up because their SEO, they're not, I am bigger than the Carlson School of Management. Like for them having an entire marketing department with marketing professors who should be able to make the Carlson School of Management the next Harvard, one idiot blogger, podcaster, YouTuber has more pull in the market than they do. And so I think before I leave, I might just make it so that when you search the Carlson School of Management, you get my stuff. I'm waiting for I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose. I have lots of other things I can do. You better pray to God that it's doing productive, helpful things for society. Because if this goes away, then I'm going to do harmful things. Well, not to society, but to bad people like the Carlson School of Management.
Dre for $2. AV from one minority to another because Cappy racist. Racist. Cappy
We're all racist. Oh, hang on. We got a huge donation.
Yeah, we got one here we got to get to.
So this will close that gap. I won't have to pay Atham no more money here pretty soon. This would be great.
This might do it. So Bacon for $5.56. The new diet, the hashtag world's greatest nutritionist, is test trialing carnivore code. Doesn't get much more simple than 4 quarter-pound patties at McDonald's. Winning. Do you go to McDonald's?
I go to McDonald's, not regularly, but yeah, just if I want to eat and I'm sick and tired. Yeah. No, my diet's gone to pot in the past 2 months, especially since the house is being built because I'm so busy flying out, driving there, picking things and doing stuff. And then with it being cold in Minnesota, you can't go out and work out. Even here in Vegas, they got 2 inches of snow.
What is up with that? I didn't even know that was possible. Seriously.
Oh, would you like another observation?
Yeah, I wanted to hear this one. People can't drive in snow there.
Well, no, that's a given. Any culture that, Alabama, they get snow, they freak out. It's not that. It's that Las Vegasites or Las Vegians are unaware of how heat works. Okay, so they do have heaters in their homes here. They have heaters in the restaurants, and they're all bitching and whining about how cold it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Chad, you being from Chicago, let's say you're a restaurant owner, or you're a you're just in your own home. You own the property. What do you do to make sure your house or physical building stays warm? What do you do?
Well, you make sure the windows are closed, get the insulation in order, just kind of warm it up while making sure the air doesn't sneak out.
Let me ask you this: do you leave the doors wide open?
Who's doing that?
Everybody. The Southern Command, the doors are left wide open, and the heaters. And they're all everyone's all bundled up. I'm looking. I'm like, do you know why you guys are cold? Because you have the door open.
By the way, I
You
noticed that when I was there, when it was warm, I noticed the same thing except in reverse. It's like, shut the
right. Well,
back door.
and but here's the other thing. I thought, well, maybe it's the people at the Southern Command, and it's not, because then you go to the restaurants, and a lot of the doors will stay open because they're propped to, and so people they'll leave the door open, and then everyone's inside freezing. And I'm like, hey, you know this thing called the furnace that's pumping heat into this presumably contained area? If it's not contained, the heat will go away, and the cold that you're trying to protect yourself from the outside will come in. And what I've figured out is Las Vegians don't understand that, because they're just accustomed to keeping the doors open. Because why wouldn't you for 98% of the instances, or 98% of the days? And so I've realized, like, they're like, kids brought up on the farm will just leave the door open and the windows open. And it's like, do you know why you're cold? Because the cold air is out there. It's coming inside here. So it's hilarious. You go into a restaurant, you have to wear a jacket no matter where you go, if it's cold in Vegas, because it will be as cold in the inside as it is on the outside. And then they're all like, oh, I can't believe how cold it is. I'm like, hey, I'm
Reminds
no
me,
HVAC guy, but maybe close the door.
I was a little kid and we were hanging out in West Texas. My grandmothers would always be like, hey, the little second you take to come in from being outside, shut the door, you're letting the cold air out.
Here, to kill your webcam, you're not coming in, and you're getting staticky.
Am I? Okay. Let me.
Very bad, yeah.
Shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, is it your end potentially, or is it only mine?
It could be my end too, because as you know, people in the Southern Command love their television, their daytime television.
I thought that might be the case. All right. Well, maybe I'll try it again in a little bit.
No, it's fine. We'll see. We'll see. Cynic in Chief, our good van buddy.
Passed my AWS Certified Solutions Architect exam. Congrats.
Awesome. Good to hear it, Cynic in Chief. I never really worried about him. He was always highly skilled IT guy, but now he's even more so, I guess.
Well, congrats. All right. Why don't I let you read this one? This is a special one.
God, Atham gets more love than either of us. Aaron Liggett for a very generous $50. Happy vasectomy, Atham. Yeah, I'm sure Atham. He's happy too. See, this is why we should set up a nonprofit, because people just give more money. I'm like, the Shave Your Ball Sack Fund. Kids across the country don't have their balls. Oh my God, here's the money. Like, yeah, okay, and I'll take my 95% managerial commission, and here's a couple pennies to the kids who need their balls shaved.
$49.99. DJ for $2. U of Florida has a master's in social media. Yeah, you'd have to think this already exists.
I was too hopeful for society. And what's worse, the University of Florida, that's an accredited institution. Like, they should have their accreditation revoked if they're offering this poison. It's like when DJ Aftershock, same guy, he sent me a link to the Louisville College where you could get a doctorate in entrepreneurship.
I love that. You can't, people getting degrees in entrepreneurship who've never been an entrepreneur their whole life. I love it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's hilarious to get a doctorate. All you doctorates in entrepreneurship's never started a business, I'm pretty sure. So why don't you just, in Minecraft, go swim to Japan? Okay? Go swim to Japan. With cinder blocks attached to you.
Mexi Mike, $10. Previous issued military trousers have pockets for days. Head to any Army Navy surplus store for cheap, handy, rugged equipment of any sort. You might even grow your conspiracy theory network in prepping. This is actually about a 5-minute walk from where I am. I got one of these
Okay.
up.
Back in the day, when we had to get SWAT pants for work at security, there was an Army surplus store downtown Minneapolis. We'd all get our SWAT pants down there, and they're great. And Mexi Mike is right. That is a good idea. I should probably look at that.
Cynic for $2. Join fan Discord using that code.
Oh, there you go. Okay, use that code to join the Cappy fan Discord. One of these days, Cynic will have to explain it to me, or like, handhold my boomer ass to understand how that all works.
It's if you ever get banned from here, you can always go on Discord and it works.
Oh, okay.
Juan €2. Cappy, is this the Saving the West episode? No.
West is done. It's dying. Women getting fat and basically stabbing men in the back. And then I know it's cliche and all, but generally speaking, women decided to vote for the government and put the government in the center of their life and socialism at the expense of men and family. And so without men or family, there's no society. So, have fun with your god of socialism. And I hope the government check hugs you back at night. Just make sure you don't get a paper cut on your lip when you're making out with your government check. It's very simple. So there's no saving the West. Women can save the West anytime they want. They could give men a vested reason and incentive to get vested in their fellow man, and by man I mean woman, fellow human being, and through women, their children in society. But I've been told how bad I am and evil and and I'm oppressing people every day and it's nature. No. Okay, all right, fine. Yeah, okay, we got the message. Fine, clocking out.
I got into it pretty badly with one of my female clients yesterday who was just going on and on about this. And then I called her on a hypocrisy and she just lost it. DJ Aftershock, $2. Chad,
hold it. Are you going to tell us about it or
sure,
what? You just said this thing happened and then some stuff happened after and then it was over. Oh, great story, Chad. Thanks.
Well, you're captain of the ship here. All right, I'll tell it. So yesterday, I went to my office because I like to get out of my place, and some people actually will meet in person. So we're sitting there. She gives me her documents. We're kind of going through them, and I start working on it. And I'm like, oh, so how's your personal life going? Just making small talk. And she spends like half an hour talking about how men are worthless. They only want sex. They're shallow. She just thinks America is pathetic. And then about 20 minutes, she then spent the next 20 minutes talking about how she's one of these SJW help, underprivileged minorities because they're discriminated against so much. And finally, she went on about how bad men are. And I'm like, wait a second. You just said you don't want people to be discriminated against for their race. Why is it okay to do that to their gender? And she suffered a misconnect in her brain. That's not the same thing. And I shut down every single point she had. And yeah, I think I'm down another client, but I don't care.
I don't even know why you'd have political clients in general. I just. Yeah.
I didn't know. We'd never talked about that.
Oh, that came out of left field.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to snuff these out. I want to get better clients.
Okay, turn off your video because you are robotic-y.
God, shouldn't be doing this. Okay.
Everyone in here, you want me to boot you out and come back in?
Yeah, let's do that. It might be a bad connection here.
Let me kick from studio. All right, Chad will come back in. I'll handle through the super chats here. Oh, we missed DJ Aftershock. Chad, I was talking about John the Senator, not Mark. Okay, that's more Virginia politics. Ice Snows for $2. Go Gophers. Hooray for the Carlson School of Management. Did Gophers do anything this year? They've never won nothing. DJ Aftershock, $5. Lots of dopes at schools like JMU, QFin. All right, how's it look now?
I'm fine. Can you?
Okay, yeah, you came in way better now. You look yeah. All right, it's looking good. Lots of dopes at schools like JMU. What's JMU?
It's James Madison University. It's about an hour from where I went to school in Virginia.
Okay. Quantitative finance and crappy state schools think they're going to be a quant on Wall Street, even though They hire Ivy Leagues mostly. Yeah, there's and here's the other. None of you want to work for Wall Street. None of you.
No.
You you don't want you want to maybe get your toe and get some experience at the Big Four, but none of you should want to work at Wall Street. That is going to go away pretty soon. I believe there's going to be crowdfunding will replace it because why deal with that overburdensome process of having it? No way. There's no way to bother with that.
Ray for $5. AV doing a 12-hour shift of unarmed patrol security, walking 21 to 24 miles and walking 14 to 16 miles for 8 hours shift. When you did security, how far did you walk?
It depended on because we were on bikes because we had to get around campus. But wintertime when you couldn't bike around, you'd be doing about 10 to 12 miles for an 8 hour shift. But a lot of that, it really depended. Like sometimes, like okay, go sit here for like 30 minutes. Okay, go over there and cover so and so because they got to go to the bathroom or get food. So it wasn't constant patrol. A lot of times you just sit and rest up. But yeah, it was. There'd be times, bikes, there are times, man, you were putting probably, 50, 60 miles on your bike because you're tearing up campus. Well, maybe not that much. Maybe more like 40 now that I think about it. Because
Hey,
you do
how long
20. Huh?
that hike we did over at Zion, how long was that? Was that like 12 miles or 14
16.
miles? Was it 16? Wow.
Yeah, that was a good hike. That was a serious hike. Remember that time Atham pooped out when we got to the top?
He had some problems handling the hill, the final ascent on the way back, but he more than made up for it with the desserts afterwards, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he did good. He got up and down.
Bacon for $5.45. Taking consults for fitness and nutrition again, actually helping out our old marketing buddy who won't be named, already getting results. 2021 for the win.
Good.
I'm curious what happened to the old marketing buddy that won't be named, but you can tell me later. M2 PG4 for $1.99. Chad, quitting public during tax season, yay or nay? So he means public accounting. I wouldn't recommend that because that's going to burn a bridge. Like that's pretty much going to ruin whatever, good that was going to put on your resume. So I would say just stick it out and then get the hell out of there. Unless you're like suicidally unhappy, then obviously leave. Dre for $2 had a pilot something commander that had BS and entrepreneurship.
I'm thinking it's a military term. Like a lieutenant commander? I don't know what a PLT is. Had a BS and I emphasis on being. How's his business? How's his bid NAS now, Dre? Wait, Dre was Marines, so maybe that's a Marine rank. They are part of the Navy technically, so I'm not that familiar with it.
Bacon for 223. Chad, shut your trap, fool. Just take GD money. And you know this, Clary. Like I've said, I don't need any more clients, so now I'm more focused on getting the ones I want in and getting rid of the ones I don't want anymore. So I'm having fun with this now.
I think my form of retirement, and I think anybody's form of retirement that tunes in here, who's part of the 1099 superior race, of course, is because we'll take whatever money in exchange for the finite time we forfeit. And that's the stage I'm at now. I know Rich Cooper gives me guff. He's like, man, I can't believe you answered some of those questions. Like, it's going to take me the same time to answer them, whether they're good or not. And so I'll answer the question regardless. But maybe retirement is the day where I get dumb questions and I charge such an egregious fee they go away. And then the only questions I got or the only clients I got are pros who I enjoy working with. And maybe that's the peak 1099er superior racer form of retirement.
I did that this morning. Somebody,
did you?
Yeah, someone's like, hey, we got your name from so-and-so. We really want you to be our accountant. And I said, well, I'm pretty much at capacity, but if you want, I'll give you a quote. And I literally doubled, what my average quote is or something like that. And they bit. They actually went for it. I was hoping they'd say no, but if they want to overpay for it, fine.
Well, if you need to outsource some stuff, we got a good accountant in the wings, ready and waiting.
I will have these discussions. I will.
I will have these discussions.
One dough for €2. No saving needed. People have a good time in BR. It's BR. Bermuda.
British. No saving. No, he's Euro, so he's European Britain.
People aren't having a good time in Britain. I know that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what BR is. All right, let's go.
Brazil? I don't know. Maybe he'll clarify in the chat here. Chris is black for $5. Got my vasectomy. It was walking out the truck for 20 minutes, no problem. This spring and summer doing full-time recon and storm chasing. Cool.
Oh boy. Chris, if you get a tornado on video, man, send it to me. I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome.
You see the movie Twister?
That was on at the hotel I was at in Rapid City. And you look at it, it's not that bad. They did pretty good for like 99 technology. But the idiocy of like, oh, we just got ran over by a tornado, but because we tied ourselves to this lead pipe, we're okay. It was a little hard to swallow. So,
Thomas Landrum for $2. Hey, Thomas. Aaron, did the Amazon affiliate work? Treadmill. You bought a treadmill?
No, it probably did. If let me know what day you bought it, and that way I can look it up. But yeah, I do have my Amazon affiliate pro. You know, it's been months because I've been busy with content creation. I haven't been able to plug olderbrother.com/donate and the links therein, or any of our regular sponsors or podcast. I mean, so it's finally, thankful we're getting back to normal. But yeah, I haven't promoted that at all. But yeah, if you guys ever do want to buy stuff on Amazon, please first go to olderbrother.com/donate and click on the Amazon link, and that will it doesn't cost you anything more. It's the best way to help out the show, though. Certainly, I do appreciate the super chats.
Azure Fire for $1. Let me see if she's up. I know you can't see these, but let me see if.
All right, was it Mexican poops?
There is no message, so that's it.
And you know what? I'm sure it's her. I'm sure that is not a fake picture. I'm sure that's totally a hot chick tuning into isn't it? Remember the times way back in the internet where you'd see a picture like, oh, this girl's really cute. She's talking to me. And like that lasted a hot 6 months, maybe, until you realize, oh, bots, scams, and all that other stuff. And now men have been so conditioned after 10 years of more or less high-speed internet. Anytime there's a hot chick, it's like, not today, Antifa. Not today, ISIS. No, not today, commies. You're not getting me, Boris.
Reminds me of the old America Online days when people would chat up random people and they'd say, ASL, which was age, sex, location. Like that was yeah. DJ for $2. Chad, I was referring to John Warner, not Mark Warner. Yeah, man, like I would quit paying attention to Virginia politics, man. That state is just gone. It's gone. It's too late.
You guys should all stop paying attention to politics. There's no like when I log out of my email, there's on Yahoo. It's like, oh, Trump did it. I'm like, you guys are still talking about Trump? Like, how much of a hate boner did you have for this guy? Like, what is possibly newsworthy about Trump right now? It just shows you that it's an effing soap opera. A Mexican telenovela is more intellectual and entertaining and value to you than watching the modern day news. It's almost nearly all lies, and it's tiring. It's so tiring. It's like, look, I'm going to give katanas and baseball bats to Sean Hannity and Anderson Cooper and all of them, and we're going to have a big Avengers battle royale at the end, and then the last person standing wins, and you can skew whatever political propaganda you want. But you guys should not even be tuning into this crap.
I like the news. You like the news? Aaron Liggett for $4.99. I'm getting mine for $30. Great idea. Thanks, Cappy. What was he getting?
Vasectomy.
Oh, $30.
Yeah, if you got it, a lot of your insurance will cover it, guys. It's something to consider. Do you want to eliminate the number one threat that would make you poor? Get a vasectomy.
Mexi Mike, $2. Damn it, Atham, you left the door open again. You had one job. Here's for sure to be this hot girl. It's not a guy. It really is her, whatever her name is. $5. Why are American nurses so fat if they work in the health industry? Shouldn't they be the healthiest since they have vast medical knowledge? Good question.
One, that doesn't just apply to nurses, but there are doctors who smoke and drink and are fat. Okay, so it's not just the nurses, but I relatively recently I have a nursing practitioner agent in the field who educated me about the world of certified nurse assistants who are not full-fledged nurses. They are predominantly women who go and I think they get a 3-week certification course, and then you're certified nursing a CNA. I think this is the correct one. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But there's like this no hurdle barrier to become this CNA. And that is your ass wipers, phlebotomists that give you like a, that fail to draw your blood in your case.
That failed it.
Yeah, that do that. Right. And so these are and they're catty. And I remember working security at hospitals and, watching over prisoners and whatnot. And you're like, why are they talking? Because I always had nurses in high esteem. I'm like, they're smart and medical and very professional. Nurses are, registered nurses and certainly nurse practitioners. But the TikTok dancers, the nurses doing the TikTok, those are CNAs. And those people can go away. And those are hypocrites, and they're not into health. So yes, you're going to see fat, overweight, quote unquote nurses, but I almost guarantee you they're CNAs, not actual real nurses.
It's kind of like how I see a lot of crazy therapists. It's like, just does not compute. Juan Doe for €2. Having a good time in Brazil. The West can go. Yeah, Brazil. Have you been to Brazil?
BR, that's where he was.
Have you been to South America?
No.
I enjoyed Argentina a lot. I'm sure Brazil is fun too.
I'm not against it. I don't know. I got so much work to do. Holy crap! Where's all these super chats coming from?
Hey, when they heard it was for Atham, they came pouring in. Cynic for $2. Discord is a private hangout spot. Yeah, that's the one turd flinging monkeys on, actually, is Discord, I think.
Speaking of promoting his book, The Way of Monkey, is absolute must read for anyone who wants a short, quick read on philosophy. And I would recommend getting the physical book, even though it's more costly, because of the artwork in it. But one thing I was real impressed, his most recent podcast he did, he has the system down where he's simulcasting on all the alternative platforms in one shot using a platform called Entropy, and he's on all of them. And it takes a lot of rewiring in the back scenes of the digital world, but he can do it. And I'm thinking, like, if he can get it synced up and streamline that process, that's almost a direct threat against YouTube. That may be so I know a lot of people are worried, you get the platform, you go away. Alex Jones is still around. Stefan Molyneux is still around. Turd Flinging Monkey is still around. You just got to go there. So I'm really not that worried. There's going to be a little bit of downtime, like maybe a month I take off and I figure out it all. But it's your favorite podcasters are not going away. I don't think they could take you. They can't take you away. You may not have a Twitter account. You may not have an Instagram account, but you're not. The big tech is going to be unable to prevent people from getting their message. It's out there. It's just not going to happen.
Have you ever gotten so much as a YouTube strike on your channel?
Yeah, I had I don't know if it was a strike or maybe just, we had to take down your thumbnail because it violated our nudity policy or something like that. But I haven't had a ton of strikes against me because truthfully, I don't really violate their we're pro male, or we are pro male, we're pro female, we're pro minority because we tell people the truth. It's not, and we're intellectually honest about it. And I got a tonnage of video and clips or whatever. If ever I'd say, hey, really? You're going to shut me down? I have a pretty good track record here of advancing people and being honest about it. And we don't, I don't know. We are controversial, but I don't violate the policies. And so, knock on wood, but you never know. We'll find out.
Mexi Mike for $2. Yeah, hot chicks with brains because she's tuning in, right?
Right.
Tuning in.
She's real. She's real.
Dre for $5. The same platoon commander with the BS and entrepreneurship got kicked out for losing his M4 on a deployment. I have more stupid stories that'll shock you.
Are Marines that's your wife? When you get your rifle, and that got carbine, but isn't that the number one thing you're supposed to be more than your clothes is going to be your rifle?
see, yeah, Full Metal Jacket. They were hammering that into your head.
Okay, kick yourself out and come back in. You're breaking up again.
God. All right.
Everybody, type 1 if I'm also breaking up. If you could put 1 in the chat room, let me know if I'm breaking up as well, because it looks like it's coming good on my end, but Chad's DJ Aftershock, $2. Wonder how cucky every state GOP is. Pretty much, except the most badass state with the badass governor is a female. It's Kristi Noem in South Dakota, my governor.
Azure, $2. I'm real, friend of Dre's. Glad I'm well than you, because you've got a 6'2".
Well endowed.
Yeah. Cool. Alex Saluski for $2. Tesla's PE ratio is 1600. What are your thoughts? Didn't they go down last week? Like they had a bad.
I'd have to look at, but a PE ratio of 1600. If they don't grow their profits exponentially, that means it's going to take 1,600 years for you to break even on that investment. And that's the earnings ratio. Technically, you should look at your dividend yield, which would probably be even like close to 3,200, easily double that. I just I don't care about Tesla. I really don't. And I invest. What do I invest in, Chad?
You invest in things that will actually appreciate in value that can't be taken away.
I just invest in the index. That's it. I invest in the index.
Literally, what do you invest in? Yeah. Believe it or not,
we're caught up.
We're caught up, yeah.
Let me check my observations. We did the office depot. We did the Vegas not knowing about heat.
Should we do one more that just came in here?
Sure, Bacon? Read it.
$5.56. Bacon. The Rees Omega Red fan found and downvoted all my videos on my channel. Blocked and reported his sorry ass. Another added to the Dexter list. Yeah, dude, I don't know what that deal's issue was. This was the guy you took away all his messages because he was spamming stupid stuff.
Yeah, I just put him in timeout. I'm very liberal on who's allowed to, but it's not. I don't even care what you say. It's when I see 40 posts and you kick up everybody's like donations or whatever. I don't want to miss super chats. And it's like, okay, so TFM banned from Discord.
Oh, that's a bummer. Was that recent? Okay. Must be recent.
Yeah, I understand. He wants the freedom of speech, but he's just going to have to realize, look, when you say take women's rights away, you're going to get banned.
It's also not very. You can't do that, so why talk about it?
I know, and I know you want the freedom of speech, but you're just going to get banned.
Yeah.
And I'm all for him. Like, if he wants to say that, go ahead. But it's just like the world we live in.
Eric Wasson for $5. Most women want their bills paid. The good ones are too hard to find.
You listen to the Dick Show?
No.
So he had a guest on, some comedian, and he's like, well, how long you been dating your girl? And he says like 10 years. Like, 10 years? How do you do it? He's like, well, you date a lot of other gals before her, and you realize they're all batshit insane. And he says, look, you're tolerable. Just don't cut my tires or me, and get a job, and that'll be good enough. And he's saying the only reason we have girlfriends is because we know the alternative is utter crap in dealing with psychopaths. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty much true. Yeah, that's so I wouldn't even say there's good ones. There's those that are tolerable. That's those that are tolerable.
We missed one. Oh, you got it. Okay. $2 Australian from Adriano Ramos. Side of Napoleon's only naval victory.
I don't know. I don't get into the 1800s. I kind of stop. Like, I think the latest I go is Cortez, and the Spaniards. I don't really do the 1700s. I don't know why. I just don't have an interest in the late 1700s. Maybe because that's when we were forced to learn American history, and I want to learn any. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got it. But I prefer to learn the older history.
We got that one. It's Azure Fire again for $5. Do you recommend chess as a hobby to improve one's logic and skill?
Yeah, that'll do it. Although, it's kind of stupid, but one exercise you could go through is if you get a logic book where it's ampersand in, ampersand out, greater than, less than. Have you ever gone through a logic theorem?
Mm-mm.
It's like a geometric theorem, if then, and but, ampersand in, ampersand out. Azur, look that up. There's like a book, and that will really critically force you to look at language and make sure you're saying what you mean and mean what you say. And you have to not critically think, but precisely think and know what your terms of definition are. It'll just kind of train your brain to be logic. But the best way to be logical is just to adhere to truth, no matter how painful it is. For example, if you're a fat chick, what's the logic to get a guy?
You need to get more university degrees and flaunt how much smarter you are
Right.
than other
Men can't
people.
keep up to your level, right? There you go. I mean, you'll be more logical than 99% of the people, whether you play chess or not, if you just admit the truth. That's it. That's all it is. And I'm not the world's greatest economist because I'm like a great economist. I'm just like, yeah, you can't print off money and you can't have a welfare parasitic class. And oh, by the way, stop hiding behind traits you were born with to claim you're a victim to get said money as a parasitic class, or creating mental disorders or genders you don't have to claim you're victim. I knock it off. It's not hard. It's not difficult. You just have to have the balls to say it because you actually care about the long-term success of humanity.
Says the white man who has privilege.
Says the white man.
Eric Wasson for $5. Ex-girlfriend had a friend give her $1,500. Said they're just friends. She thought this was acceptable in a relationship. Went to his house without me. Yeah, she's probably an ex for a reason. This one's for me. Adriano Ramos for $2 Australian. Will Burnley stay up or get castrated like Athens? Clary, this will not be of interest for you for the next 30 seconds. Burnley beat the defending champions in their own stadium, Liverpool, last week. So I think they're going to stay up. And that's that.
That was a 30-second analysis. I thought I had time.
I thought I'd have more to say, but no, they beat the best team from last year, and that's good because sports ball is a waste of time.
Good. Another observation. Ready for an observation?
Sure.
Okay, you got a nephew, right?
Yeah.
Does your sister and brother-in-law feed him garbage like macaroni and cheese and hot dogs and things?
They are actually pretty good about this. They feed him vegetables and, good stuff.
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
Here's my question. They're rare. They're the exception. Every little, of which there are many nieces and nephews now. I almost have an army of them. Every parent feeds them crap. Like, here's macaroni and cheese. Here's hot dogs. Here's this. Here's that. I'm like, shouldn't there be a vegetable here, or maybe some broccoli, or maybe, a bit of pineapple or something? And I have a serious question. Maybe someone who's more medically educated than I am can answer this. But does it matter what you feed kids? Like, do you got to worry about a kid's cholesterol? I know they should be getting their nutrition and they should have their fruits and vegetables. But I'm looking at these parents treating their kids like kind of like garbage disposals. Like, they'll eat anything. And so they give them like bologna, Oscar Mayer bologna sandwiches. What's wrong with you people?
This is a total guess because obviously I've never had a kid. But I think what you mainly want to be careful of is just making sure that they don't get too fat. If they keep their weight normal and they're running around, you don't want to feed them garbage every day, but I think that's probably fine. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong.
Because it's almost you got this grace period as a child, which you kind of do with metabolism as long as you're running out. But I'm thinking like, well, wouldn't the cholesterol build up? Like if you start at age 1 and, I guess for tooth health, you would not want to eat a lot of sugar. I get that. But can you feed kids like their engines are so new they'll take whatever crap gas you put in there and it won't hurt them, and then now you got to worry about it when you're more like 20 or 25? I really have no idea, but I just look at the garbage Lucifer and Geronimo eat. I'm like, hey kid, you want an asparagus? You want a carrot? I get jealous because I'm sitting there looking at me. I'm like, dang, I can't eat that. I really wish I could.
I used to get so upset at my parents because they wouldn't get me those like extremely sugary cereals. We're talking like Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks. The stuff's like 20 grams of sugar per serving. But now I think that was the right move. I do.
Did you ever have sugar frosted chocolate bombs as a kid?
Sugar? No.
I wonder if anybody knew if knows what I'm talking about. Sugar frosted chocolate bombs.
It's not a cereal, is it?
It doesn't exist, but it was a cereal in Calvin and Hobbes. He'd always be eating a sugar-coated, sugar-frosted chocolate bombs, and he'd get all wild and crazy and jittery. He's like, "Why are you shaking?" I think we're caught up.
Yeah, we are.
Let me make sure I got all my observations. So we did the feeding children crap. We talked about Las Vegasites and how they don't understand how heat works. We talked about the office depot saying we need to raise money for Black businesses, thus beginning the question, why are you in business if you're losing money relying on charity to be profitable? We talked about restaurants having you assemble your own food.
Yeah.
We talked about also the general decay where now I got to buy 100 envelopes minimum. Those are my observations. I'm all caught up with observations.
Cool.
How much time you got? I know you had 15 minutes. So you got a hard break at 4:30?
Let me check. I might be able to go till 5. I just got to see something. Supposed to Zoom with somebody, but it was a little open-ended. I can keep going. Let's keep going. I'll let you know when I got to stop. But yeah, let's keep going.
All right, here, Bacon has some insight as to the kids.
Bacon 223. Diet matters with kids, more for habit building later. I think that's probably true. I mean, you see the overweight kids that never learned how to eat healthy.
You see Mexican kids too? Is it? I'm kidding, because it's true. It's everyone. But man, the Mexican kids got a head start.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, Mexican kid. Look at that. You don't see that every day. Look at that. I feel bad for these kids, man. They're just, and it's like, what? Come on, don't you play? Don't you?
Well, it becomes, I've noticed this, and it's true. The food, I'm just saying, people who are a little bit underprivileged or whatever, the food that the food stamps pay for and everything, it's not the food that's good for you. It's for the corporate subsidized sugary shit.
No. You can get fruits and vegetables and chicken with
I
EBT.
know. I'm just saying, I think that's why parents go for the stuff. They can get this stuff. That stuff should not be paid for by public funds, in my opinion.
We don't talk about Sugarland. We voted in it. They need their break. They need their fix. I just feel bad for the little Latino kid who, they got siblings. It's like, okay, shouldn't you kids be fighting or playing adversarial games and burning off calories of energy? Then you look at the parents like, oh, I see. Okay, never mind. All right, well.
Safety Doc in the house.
Huh?
Safety Doc is in the chat.
Oh, Safety Doc.
Yeah. Mexi Mike for $2. How much longer can you go, Chad? That's what she said. Dude, what's with you and the Virginia politics? $2. Chad, at least you don't have to deal with the Virginia GOP. It's a terrible political state, man.
I'm impressed with DJ's intricate knowledge of the Twin Cities. And he also seems to know Virginia very well. So I'm kind of shockingly impressed with how much he knows, because he knows venues and places and what they were like, because there's no more venues and places open in the Twin Cities. Culture. But yeah, I'm kind of impressed he knows that too. There's Doc. Remember the garbage salad?
Yeah, that was one of the best salads I've ever had.
It was chopped up. He even tossed it in front of us. The waiter did, remember?
Remember how he was like, what do you want? What do you want? And what do you want? We all pretty much want the same thing. So we're like, yeah, just put it all in there and give it to us.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Skipping ahead here.
Adriano Ramos, $2 Australian. Cappy, have you been to Hootville on your travels?
Hootville? I got to look that up. Hang on.
Hootville. Wonder what state that's in. Let me guess down south.
Yeah, I'm going to say Nevada. Hootville is a fictional farming community. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I have that's not. Oh, that's Hooterville. What's Hootville?
Hootville.
It's not coming up. I've never been to Hootville. Doesn't exist.
There's a town in it's either Germany or Austria. The town is literally named fucking, like spelled that way. And they had a problem because people kept stealing the sign.
Well, don't curse on the older brother podcast here, all right? So we're trying to Trying to keep these monetizable, all right? Trying to diversify the old revenue stream.
Diversify.
Right.
Charles Mack for $5. Vaccine round 2 in a couple days, gentlemen. Maybe then I'll turn into a zombie. We'll see.
All right. Hopefully Charlie will be all right.
DJ, $2. I'm off I-66 if you ever head that way. I-66 has got to be the shortest interstate in the entire country because all it goes from is DC to like the end of the top part of Virginia. I'm not sure why it's an interstate. Yeah. Fred Freeman Sell for $1.99. CPS teachers care about the kids and pensions. Do you know what's going on here with this? This is
They voted not to return.
They voted not to return. The state said you have to return, and so all they're doing is just defying the orders. And I will be pissed if they still get paid for doing it this way. You should not be paid if you are defying orders like that.
Why did they become teachers in the first place? Why do most people become teachers?
Probably because they can't really do anything else. That's my guess.
Well, that's true. And I'm being deadly serious about this. This isn't a joke. This isn't politics. Why do most people become teachers?
I would never. Yeah, I would never do one. So
yeah, they simply don't want to work. They look at it as an easy job. I mean, the next step below teachers is welfare parasite. That's your next step below, where you just don't feign even working. But teachers are lazy.
It's just amazing how defensive they get when you disagree with them. Ice Nose for $2. A couple of bucks for the teachers and the children.
All money and donations go to Atham. It's going to penises. It's going to dicks. Okay, it's either going to be Atham's vasectomy or my septic tank fund, so I can urinate and defecate. Cappy got a poo.
Adriano Ramos for $2 Australian. Sorry, was Hooterville.
Yeah, it's a fictional town between Petticoat Junction and Green Acres.
Fred for $1.99. A new girl at work attended the U of Minnesota.
I'm sorry for her.
Dre for $1.99. Any updates on Chad's Corona romances? Well, Clary, I appreciate the thought from yesterday, if you remember yesterday.
Yeah, I tried to set you up. Did that go anywhere? Did you guys exchange emails or what?
I have already received an email.
Good. All right. She's a nice girl. She's very pretty too. Very smart. Give her a shot.
Maybe she's
you
watching.
You have a look on your face that something's not right. What now?
No, nothing. No. I've literally just got an email. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, well, give her a chance. She likes guns. She's conservative. She's pretty. She makes a lot of money. It doesn't, it's like Top Gun. What do you mean it doesn't look good? It doesn't get to look any better than that. Sundown, remember Sundown?
Yeah.
The one black guy in Top Gun, he's the black guy in Top Gun. Yeah, Sundown. Yeah.
Azure Fire for $2. Super sticker. Let me see if I see. Oh, so it's that cat that farts hearts coming out of its rear end. The one that Atham likes.
What now? Assuming Azure Fire is also Latino or Latina in her case, what's with the Latino community and farting, pooping emojis? Or is it just Atham is what we have?
I was going to say, I'll bet it's that. I'll bet this is a fan of the show and has seen Atham do it. So that's why. Fred for $1.99. A CPS teacher said principal canceled with Trump. Oh, principal canceled the only work at home with the Trump. Wait, what?
I don't know. See, now if Fred wanted to drop an extra 30 cents, he could afford himself a couple more characters and ask us a full question that we would understand. Now we're just wasting $2.
Yeah. Digital Nomad for $2 Canadian. Cappy, which cold storage crypto wallet do you use?
I don't know. I have my notes on cryptocurrency and how to access it somewhere in a file in a safe somewhere. So I don't even know which wallet I use. And every time I have to go back to either buy or sell crypto, I'm like, oh, this is why I hate cryptocurrency. This is why it's like really just this break 8 panes of glass to get to this emergency cash reserve if you need it.
Point of correction from something I said earlier. It was pronounced Fuking, and the town of that village in Austria changed its name to Fuging with 2 G's last year. So thank you, R. Mac, for that. It's a pretty funny story. Fred for another $1.99. Pretty, but what about a diploma from New Trier? Throw the extra money in, guys.
Fred, for God's sake, stop spurting out, drop the money, get your thoughts together, and send one cogent, coherent thing, okay?
Well, this next one's pretty coherent from him. Another $1.99. A girlfriend I met on Tinder pooped in my bed on her 21st
Okay.
birthday.
See, everyone understands that. I can see that. That makes sense. All right, let's get to some sponsors real quick because we got other things to get through as well. Histherapist.com. This guy, Dr. Maloney, he's a therapist. He reached out to me before. He says, I'm thinking about setting up my own practice online for men. Do you think I should do it? I said, yes, absolutely do it. And he did. And so he's not paying me. I completely believe this is vitally necessary within the men's community. And here it is. So you go to histherapist.com. It's online, obviously, because we can't do anything in person anymore. But don't send me things. I can't, guys, when you send me requests. I feel like committing suicide and I'm schizophrenic. Well, I am not licensed or even capable of handling you. I cannot legally even tell you anything. So if you have a need for a therapist and you want to not be some angry anti-male feminist that with a bogus psychology degree yelling at you while everything's your fault, go to his therapist. He won't even talk about politics. He'll just get you to mental health, hopefully. So, have you ever seen a therapist?
I've like 80 of them at this point.
Oh, well, technically, okay. I've only seen 2, but was to help somebody else out. And in the first case, the guy it was a guy and immediately went with the this and that. And sometimes you might be the problem too, and da, da, da. And I looked at the guy and said, she's bulimic. She's throwing up her food. This has nothing to do. And then another one was legit. But there is such a skew and a bias against responsibility and men in the psychology profession. And if you didn't remember, the AMA came out with the toxic masculinity concept. If you're a male and you need psychological help, get a male counselor who is not some leftist soy boy pussy, right? You need to get a masculine male. You need to get a real man. Go talk to Dr. Maloney over at histherapist.com.
You got time for a very, very quick Cuddle Book story?
I always have time for Cuddle Wookum stories. Isn't it great? Because you are always in pain. That's what makes them so good.
Oh, but listen to this. And by the way, for the record, this was 3.5 years ago, so I'm opening up about it now. If you want to make fun of me for this, fine. So at her suggestion, we went into a couples therapist a few times.
I can see where this is going already. What did the female therapist say?
Oh, by the way, guess who had to pay for it? So we go in there and, this is one of the early sessions. She's just like going off about what I'm doing wrong and how it made her feel. And I went in there expecting the worst. I'm like, the therapist will side with her and it's going to be miserable. The therapist was basically like, well, why did you do that? Why, what did he do wrong? She was like siding with me. And then suddenly she when Cuddlewooks turned her head or blew her nose or something, the therapist kind of looks at me and goes, she basically... It was that bad because they're supposed to be objective. They just want your money. But it was apparently so bad that she actually had sympathy for me immediately, and it was quite validating. So,
well, Chad, that girl was and still is mentally ill, and I would also say evil. I mean, I could see that long ago. But maybe I should have charged you. But
water under the bridge.
That's the first time I ever heard. That's great. They look at you like.
It shocked me too because I was resisting this because I too was like, screw that, she'll just side with you. No, when she heard this, she was just kind of like, what do you expect him to do when you act like that?
Oh, hang on, let me pull this up. We got a new sponsor here. Charles Simpson. Let me pull it up. And he has a book out called The Anarchist, The Messenger. So this is book 1 of a 3-part series. And usually when I get like, hey, can you advertise my book? I'm a little more like, let's see what your book is. And it's a 30-page pamphlet. And so I'm kind of like, all right, no, that's not going to happen. So, here it is. I got to pull it up. So this guy's book, guess how many pages it is? And this is book 1 of 3.
Well, you always hate it when people have really short books. So I don't know, 100 pages?
486 pages.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So he's serious author. I was like, wow. So let me let me pull it up. I had it here. No, it's not there. Okay. Quote to read on the podcast: cryptocurrency, geopolitics, conspiracy, and bloodthirsty robots. The Anarchist Trilogy is a story of an independent reporter who uncovers information she shouldn't have. After being targeted and attacked, her brother must now track those who indulge her into harm. His discoveries lead him to something he never thought imaginable. And so, kind of like, who's the author? Like Hunt for Red October and
Tom Clancy. Is it Tom Clancy?
Tom Clancy. Yeah, it sounds like a suspension political thriller. And it's book 1 of 3. I'm going to put it in the chat room there, the link to that. The Anarchist, The Messenger, written by Charles Simpson. And so he's been very patient. He's been like waiting to advertise this for like a month and a half, and I just haven't gotten to it yet until now. So I want to post that. Then also The Way of Monkey by Turd Flinging Monkey. It's a good meditative book. For once, he's not talking about taking women's rights away or getting sex dolls. It's actually meditative and much appreciated break from politics and the woman. So check that out on Amazon. It's paperback and Kindle. And then also check out his show on BitChute as well. What else?
I'm glad they're letting him sell it on there.
Yeah, Amazon's been pretty open-minded about what they allow published. Can't complain about it. Oh, what else? BunkerBasics.com with Bunker Bob. Go there for all your prepping needs. And The Science of Mastering Women, written by Linda Gross. She also has a podcast. You guys might want to tune into that. I'll also post the link to her book there below. It's kind of like my book, The Book of Numbers, but it comes from a psychological standpoint. It gives you a little bit of an edge as you chase the Grlsa. But if you really want the best book on how to increase your statistical chances of getting the Grlsa, what's the book you got to buy?
Sorry, dude, I got distracted. You do the answer.
The Book of You buy my book first, The Book of Numbers.
Okay.
Then you read my book and you say, wow, this is an amazing book. And then you charitably buy Rich Cooper's book, The Unplugged Alpha, because you feel sad for bald Canadians. Then you go get his book, which is like 98% as good as mine. But you get my book first. That's what you got. You get my book first.
Rich had a really good one a day or two ago about single dads versus single moms. I was like, wow, that's illuminating.
What do you say? What was it, a tweet or something?
No, he did a whole a YouTube. He had a live stream on it, and he just had all these people on there talking about the differences between the two, and it's interesting. There's a big difference between being a single dad versus a single mom. Huge difference.
Well, even Sheryl Sandberg, shockingly enough, in her book, makes the argument that children are not any better or worse off if their mothers don't raise them, like if you outsource them to daycare. But children do need their fathers, which was a shocking admission when I had an agent in the field report this. But you know why she said that and why she harped on that?
I'm sure it was to fit some kind of agenda. I mean, what was she pushing?
If children don't need their mothers, what does that allow women to do?
They can just get rid of their kid.
Well, they can go work and pursue their career.
Oh, right.
And she cited the data and the studies and all that. But here's the problem I have with the social sciences, especially psychology. They have a repeatability problem, a veracity problem, where they can't repeat the results of, I think, 2/3 of the studies. And so it's calling into question all of the social sciences because, frankly, they're all bogus and they're politically motivated to begin with. But you could find data for whatever you want. But I found that very interesting that, like, wow, so you admit children are better off, like, if they have their dads, which is common sense. But you're going to use that so that excuses women to just go into the workforce so women can work more. You can pay taxes and commute. I was like, well, there you go. All right. Have fun. Then finally, if you want to help out the show, go to olderbrother.com/donate. 3 links there. One to my PayPal account, where if you want to donate money, you can, but you don't get anything in exchange. The second link is to my Subscribestar account, which for all my Subscribestar subscribers, I apologize profusely in advance, but I haven't put any new material up there. But you got access to Mary Jo's pinups. Hey, maybe Azure Fire wants to submit some pinups, right? Azure Fire, you can prove you're a real woman. Yeah. Email me some tasteful PG-13 pinups, bikini, lingerie, whatever. I'll throw that up on the Subscribe Star account. But for those of you, if you wanted to, for I think it's $2 a month, you get access to all the behind the scenes content, including the Road Trip podcast, Mary Jo's Pinups, and the Post Sanity is the Future of Wealth, which you then don't have to buy on Amazon.com. But for those of you that don't want to Subscribe Star, you can get that essay essentially on Amazon as well. And then the final way to help out is through the Amazon affiliate link, also located at olderbrother.com/donate. If you're going to buy all your stuff online, please do it through my Amazon affiliate program. It costs you nothing more. Who does it cost money, Chad?
Who does it cost money?
If you do all your Amazon shopping through my Amazon affiliate link and I get paid my 4 to 5% commission and cut, whose pocket are you pulling that money out of?
Absolutely nobody's. All it does is create some income, some passive income.
No.
No?
Who are we taking money from?
Well, you're not taking it from Amazon. Like, what do you?
Yes, I am. I'm taking. Who owns the majority shares of Amazon?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, we're taking it from people that don't like us.
Right. Jeff Bezos, who I don't know if he doesn't like us, but he does support leftists. All right. So you're taking it out of Jeff Bezos's pocket. Who else?
Let's see. Well, all
second
the people.
biggest shareholder of Amazon.
Second biggest one? It wouldn't be his ex-wife, would it?
It is absolutely his ex-wife who donates to leftist socialist causes with all the money he made.
Oh, does she? I haven't been keeping up with that.
Why?
I thought she got rid of it, but I guess not.
No, she donated stuff. I bet you she learned the lesson of liquidity there pretty quickly. I got how many billions of dollars in stocks? Oh, you mean, but there's not billions of dollars to buy it?
People are like, well, she kind of supported him the whole time while he was. Yeah. Alex Zaleski for $2. Peter Schiff says Bitcoin is fool's gold. What do you think of Peter Schiff?
I like him, but no economist can bat 1,000 unless they're me. Okay, but no, Peter Schiff, he has legitimate philosophical reasons to not like cryptocurrency, and some of which I kind of agree with him. But I would say that compared to the U.S. dollar or any other fiat currency we have, the cryptocurrency is just as legitimate as a yen or a yuan or anything, because we make money, print or go burr. That's it. And it's digitally recorded. The vast majority of dollar transactions and dollar savings are digitally recorded and saved on computer. So it's like a cryptocurrency, huh? Okay. So I never actually touched the money. It's out there on the interwebs, but it's different than Bitcoin. Okay, I understand. Right. Okay.
Fred, there you go. Get a little more space. $4.99. AV, my friend in the suburbs, has been teaching in person since August. Are teachers' unions as bad as feminist groups like the National Organization for Women? Probably.
I'd say they're on par. They're lying to innocent people, and feminists lie to young girls and women. Teachers lie to children. All for socialism. Also, they don't have to work. Also, they can be victims. I cannot tell you how much lack of respect and how much genuine hatred I have towards teachers. I can't even begin, because they're basically our prison guards for 13 years, and they lied to me and my generation. And it's just been miserable having to not only endure my generation, who is so brainwashed and dumb, but to slog through that and the lies and the propaganda, and then now being called all these kind of names because you want low taxes. And the feminists, I mean, they ruin women for men and men for women. I just cannot explain how much those two groups of people have taken from everybody. But most people are blind to that fact, so I kind of don't care.
So starting yesterday, they were doing the rollout for the COVID vaccinations for CPS teachers here. So I'm just thinking, like, what's the next excuse? There's a vaccine, they're taking it. How else are they going to avoid work?
They'll find a way. They'll find it. They're going to ride this till they can. I don't care. I got a plan B. It's great having a plan B, because then this stuff doesn't matter. It's like, okay, I'll leave. Like, it's like I got the life. I'm building a lifeboat on the Titanic, and while money printer goes burr and everyone's partying on the upper decks, I'm quietly just assembling my little life raft. And then it calms me. It's like, well, it doesn't matter if the Titanic sinks. I'll make it off the boat. So, oops.
Yeah, we got a couple. Azure Fire for $5. I think the hashtag the Pound Me Too movement died with COVID. Thoughts? I mean,
I thought it died before that. Like it now from our perspective, it's a threat, but to the public, you got to keep in mind this is not the public. The public's view is like, especially with all those fake grape allegations with Virginia University and
yes, they did that to
Mattress
my alma
Girl.
mater.
Yeah,
Yep.
and especially with Blasey Ford, I think that is burned out. People are there's been enough because it's what you see on the TV and the news, which isn't the real world. But and also when we're complaining that men they're not renting cars with women anymore. They're not going on business trips with anyone. They leave their door open. That's the consequence. And all of a sudden they're kind of like, oh, well, maybe it was too much too soon. And so I think it died before COVID. Don't worry, it'll come back. Just like COVID, there'll be a new strain. It'll come back.
There already is. Fred, for $4.99. Chad, Evie and I have seen surveys showing there are more Marxists in psychology field than conservatives. Why is this? What are your thoughts on Jordan Peterson? It's probably for your territory more than anything.
Because people are lazy people going to lazy subjects, and psychology is a lazy subject. It's also amorphous and intangible and not real. Now, if you get into like, say, evolutionary psych or neurochemistry, I'm more inclined to believe it because those are more hard sciences and not necessarily. But what's his name? Jung.
Oh, Carl Jung with the Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, Jung.
Freud.
Just go climb up a tree without any clothes on. All right, just go away. Just shut up. I don't have time. You haven't figured out the human brain. Neurochemistry, we've made advances, but I want to know, one, why you guys can't repeat 2/3 of your studies, and two, what percent of people have you actually cured mentally? And three, by the way, why are more people mentally ill ever than before? A highest percentage of the population. I mean, if it was a science, like we got rid of polio, we got rid of the measles, we unlocked the power of the atom. These are concrete things we did. If you are a science, how come there is no success, but a worsening in your field? And oh, by the way, why do you hate men with the toxic masculinity thing? So I cannot take the psychology profession seriously. And that's why it's like journalism. It attracts low caliber, intellectually dishonest, even evil people because they're lazy. And sometimes they want to lord over other people like, well, I know your mind. And go ahead.
I'm just going to tell you, man, like 2020 resulted in almost every therapist making bank, huge bank. Yeah, because people were anxious and depressed. And they made it so, like you and I are talking right now, insurance used to not cover that, and it started getting covered once the lockdown started. So
no, there's other causes for mental illness in the country, but I won't. Get my book, How Not to Become a Millennial. There's an entire chapter about the psychology of the millennials, how mentally ill and damaged they are. It's tragic. It's sad. You'll feel this book is so good. Do you know how good it is, Chad?
I can't wait to hear.
My book is so good. You'll actually feel sorry for the millennials when you're done reading it.
I already feel kind of sorry for them. Yeah, I still have to get your book and numbers. I'll get there. Mexi Mike for $2. Gallery.
Dick Gallery.
Oh, okay. Dick Gallery coming up.
I think he's referring to Azure when quote, she sends her pictures.
Let's ask Dre, because they claim that's Dre's friend. So
okay, Dre, if you can vouch for her, gonna get a
Troy,
big black penis sent to me.
Put the preferred pronouns in there. Troy for $2. I'm gonna see if he had a message below that, and I don't see one. So
thanks, Troy.
Thanks.
I'm waiting for the child slave labor to make me free jam again. Little kids make me jam, and it was good jam.
Digital Nomad for $2.
Hang on. By the way, I would love nothing more than if you could get the child slave laborers to draw me a picture. I would love it if your kids would draw me a picture and I could show it to people because I love kids' drawings. And the nieces are getting too old. They don't want to really draw anymore for old Uncle Aaron. So if you can get your child slave labor to draw pictures, whatever they want, I'd love it. I'll tell you where to mail it.
Nice.
Okay.
Slow clap Cappy for setting up Chad with a girl. I have to say this worked out pretty well once before. So
I deliver. I deliver. I've gotten more of my listeners laid than any other podcaster on the internet. I should have millions of listeners right now on that fact alone. But yeah, this girl, not to say that this girl's you're going to get laid. I'm just saying you would like this. Hey, this girl's a good one. Okay. So I met her multiple times. This is a high quality gal. So I don't think you have to worry about clinginess or slash tires or anything.
Remember the service? It's probably been a couple years now. This was one of your business models. You were going to try connecting your fans with each other. Are you still thinking of doing that?
No,
or is it taking,
no, because enough women flaked out. You're like one of the rare successes. When I say I've had more success getting people laid on this show than anything else, I mean like one person, so it's just like better than all the other podcasters. But yeah, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I mean, here's what can happen. If there is, and this has happened where I've gotten young women, pretty young women, who have emailed saying, I'm trying to find a husband, want traditional. And then I'm like, okay, well, where are you at? I might have a guy out there. But that is once every 6 months, maybe. And then I'll say, well, here's a guy, or what kind of guy you look at? Well, here you go, but I'm not doing the open, like, hey, give me a commission or a cut. It's just like, and then what inevitably ends up happening is the girls flake or the guys never email them back. It doesn't work. And so it's not worth my time.
Yeah. Fred for another $1.99. If XY's share of electorate was XX, Trump would have won. XY share electorate.
If the electorate was men, Trump would have won.
Oh, okay. Bacon 243 wrote about retardism in the 95% on my site. Retardism.
All right.
Fred for $1.99. I got different hotel in 2019 from woman colleague risk.
Yep.
Oh, business trip. You got different hotel.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice one. Alex, $10. Thank you. Do you guys think that maybe one day in the future, the leftist government will limit access to electricity or internet and have Gestapos hunting for crypto holders and steal your money? I mean, tax.
Well, didn't they kind of already do that to cut off the electricity to people having parties in California?
That would surprise me if they did that.
Yeah, so I could see that, but here's the thing with the cryptocurrency, Alex. If you didn't know, it doesn't matter when you buy crypto. Essentially, what you're doing is you're making a record on the internet that you own X amount of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whichever cryptocurrency you're doing. So it's a entry on a digital ledger. And since the internet is on the internet, it's global, you don't need to access it here in the United States. What you do is you fly over to Poland or Panama or wherever you're going to go, and then you access your currency there. You don't convert it into dollars. You convert it into Panamanian pesos or Polish euros. Is Poland in the euro?
Yeah, I think so.
Or Russian rubles, whatever. And so you don't, it's like having a bank account on the cloud. Okay, fine. The United States doesn't allow you access to your cryptocurrency. Well, okay, fine. But you get a flight or a boat and you go to whatever country you want to go, and then you cash in there in the local currency so you can live. And so I think that's the quickest and shortest insurance or route or backup contingency plan for communists and socialists and parasites taking your money. And so the government can shut down your electricity and take computers away from you, but you were planning on staying in. If it gets that bad, you weren't staying in the U.S. anyway. And I do believe the Gestapo would hunt down any kind of physical, like they'll come in and like, we have a record that you bought guns. I thought those records weren't allowed. Oh, well, that under the Camilla Harris Act of 2027, bobbity ba boo. And then precious metals, that's another thing. So yeah, I mean, I know it sounds childish and sophomoric, but you're gonna have to bury silver and gold and precious metals. I've even left like precious metals with people overseas. Like, I'm here, hold on to this for me in case I got to leave. So, I mean, I have caches put across the globe. And so, you know, it's a plan B. But that's quote unquote the great thing about cryptocurrency is doesn't matter what the government does. It's a ledger beyond the government.
Mm-hmm. Bacon.
We already did that one.
Yeah. What's next? Cynic. $2. It's not smoker's cough. It's old man's cough.
It's allergies. Do I have to tell this, Chad? Do you know the story? Because if you don't know the story, maybe I got to tell it again.
Just that it's something you've had for a while, and that's how it is.
Okay. My dad forced me to clean underneath my bed with a hand brush. There was something down underneath my bed, dust bunnies, whatever. Had a massive allergic reaction at the age of 3. Went to the hospital, couldn't see. I was inflamed. They gave me steroids, and for a year or 2, I had to get shots once a week or something like that. Ever since then, I've had this cough. It is not a smoker's cough. However, it has gotten worse in part because I do so much asshole consulting and podcasting that it's starting to take its toll. And this year in 2021, once I switch over to South Dakota, I will be getting my heart checked. I will be getting my ears and eyes checked. And if there's any doctor out there, because I've looked at this, last time I had to take a crack at it was 8 years ago, and they're like, we don't know what it is. If there's any doctor out there who's an ear, nose, throat specialist that might have an interest in this, I would be very happy if you could diagnose this and get this thing, get rid of it for me. I'd be very, very happy. But it is here. It's not going anywhere. No, it's not smoker's cough. No, it's not the cigars. No, it isn't all you Monday morning. Oh, another observation. You want another observation, Chad?
Sure.
So I'm at the Southern Command, and I guess the best way to describe the relationship I have at the Southern Command is that I am kind of Higgins from Magnum PI. This is not my house. I am what was Higgins, the maitre d', or what was he called?
It's a good question. He wasn't the butler because he did all kinds of other things besides that. Caretaker.
Caretaker, yeah. Okay, so Master Robbins owns this house, and I'm the caretaker of Master Robbins' house. I don't make the decision. So whatever reason, Master Robbins is okay with this dog being here part-time. So this dog is not trained. This dog is brought up by basically ghetto trash, young girl, irresponsible. And now, for reasons that is not mine, it's all Master Robbins' thing, the dog is here. It is what it is. So this dog is just, it likes me. It's a nice dog. It just doesn't know its boundaries. And it constantly whines if you're not giving it attention. And it will come walking up and you're like, sit, like you can give it commands. It will not do it. So this dog has been bothering me. And the only way to get this dog to go away so you don't hear is to yell at it. And so one time it was really misbehaving. So I went out there, ran him down to the other room, and I spanked him. And all of a sudden, I got every PETA. I didn't know I had PETA listeners. Maybe they're not PETA listeners. But everybody has now completely spurred out saying, you abused the dog. I can't believe you're letting, oh my gosh, it's a dog. I'm like, 1, I'm not abusing the dog. 2, I like the dog. It just needs to calm down. And 3, look, if you guys are that spurgy, that you're so pathetic and sad and so have nothing else going on in life, that you're going to, virtue signal over a dog that does need punishment, does need discipline, get the fuck off my channel, go away, and go find something. You have obviously the wrong channel. And so I'm wondering how many of them are trolls or whatever else. But I was kind of shocked, like how many people, I can't believe you did that. Dogs are man's best friend. It's like, yeah, dogs are man's best friend when you train them. So I have this single mom dog, basically. It was raised by essentially a single mom, not disciplined because disciplining is hard. And it just shocked me. I'm like, really? There's people like this in their race? So go away. All of you go away. Don't tune in anymore. Get out of here. Go. So that's another observation. I got people telling me how to raise a dog.
I didn't meet this dog, did I?
I don't think so. No, you met the nice dog.
Yeah, I was gonna
See,
say this doesn't sound like that dog.
no, because there's two dogs, but you don't hear from the second dog. You know why? Because the dog was raised right. It wasn't raised by ghetto trash. And so the second dog, which I have sympathy for, I'll go out, you play tug with it. It's a big dog. Like you ever play tug with a dog, get like old torn up
Yeah,
jeans
sure.
or something? Oh yeah, it's fun. But man, it just, you walk in and it thinks it owns your attention. Like, it's like, dude, I've dated girls less clingy than you. Get the F away from me. So there you go. Stop telling me about my cough. Don't tell me how to raise a dog. What else? Don't tell me what I should do on social media and what I should write about and what changes you'd like to see. Unless you're Rich Cooper or Rollo Tomasi or Myron Gaines, don't tell me how to run my business. My favorite is two people subscribe to their YouTube channel. You know what you should do with your YouTube channel? The opposite of what you did? I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I had to break up with some clients, this past year. I just had to chuckle. I had a couple that wrote me back and like had all kinds of business suggestions, like, "Oh, here's how you can get behind that." Here's could you. I just wanted to write back to them and say, neither of you have turned a business profit, in years. Why would I take your suggestion? So, DJ for $2. Marxist dude bro number one fear equals accountability.
No bailouts.
No bailouts.
Marcus wanted to be bailed out from their bad personal decisions. Dude bros want to be bailed out of their bad business decisions. That's about the only thing I could think of.
Bailouts? Huh. We'll see if there's an answer in there.
I don't know. Probably.
Alex Patino for $5. Just to clarify, limit electricity in order to limit your access to your crypto or make you use a government-approved wallet. They can't really limit electricity.
Yeah. I mean, that's like we're gonna prevent you from looking at porn. I don't know how they can do that. Alex, if you want, go. There's plenty of tutorials on how crypto works. It's it's almost like the government's gonna prevent me from giving Chad a piece of paper. It's like, well, okay, I guess you're gonna have to send an agent to both me and Chad to make sure we never give each other a piece of paper. But I don't know. I could be flippant about it because I bought my crypto years ago, so I'm not worried about it.
Fred for $1.99. Will birth rates decline as dating app use increases?
I would agree. Yes, absolutely.
I'd say it's already happened.
In my book, The Book of Numbers, I paint the reality of the online dating market, and I call them a digital Voltron. Girls are increasingly choosing to live vicariously over the internet, as are men, because men go and look at a prawn, and they have sugar baby sites where they have a digital romance with a girl they pay to show bobs and vagine. So both men and women are moving online and interacting less and less in person. And to get married, or to have children, you got to physically be there. And have you ever seen the movie Surrogates? I mean, it's so eerie how that is today now. Have you ever seen Surrogates?
Doesn't sound like something I'd want to see.
Bruce Willis. And all it is people are interacting in the real world through robots that look like them, but they're back at home controlling it through essentially the internet. And that's what we have today. So, yeah, the birth rate is absolutely going to decline. If you get my book, How Not to Become a Millennial, I look at how many sexual partners each of the generations have had, which is very hard data to find, by the way. And now, admittedly, the millennials everybody can have more partners as long as you stay alive. So only this average is going to go up. But the millennials are like way behind. And I don't even know what Gen Z is like. But compared to boomers and Xers, we had tons of sex. And millennials, but especially Gen Z, and especially after this Corona stuff, I'd imagine there's not a lot of hanky-panky going on.
Yeah. Dre for $2. It's not old man cough, it's Gagger's cough.
You know why he says that?
Because he's 6'2" and has a long.
He's so well endowed. He gags on his own. That's what he just like. Dre is just gagging on his own. He's pulling it out.
Alex Saluski, $5. Poland is in the EU, but it has its own fiat currency called zloty, which translates to gold.
There. All right. Oh, wait. So is it backed up by gold, or is that the language translation? It translates to like zloty means gold in Polish. It doesn't mean it's backed up by gold.
Good question.
Yeah. Because if it's backed up by gold, I'm going to go buy me some zloty.
Probably a dumb question. If you're in the European Union, you have to use the euro, right? Like, isn't that why they kind of did that? Or
I guess you don't have to. If two people agree to use silver, or a girl agrees to give you a trick, and then you'll buy her a dinner. I mean, really? Hey, I'll do dental work if you do my taxes. You don't have to have the currency be the official currency.
Go back to that last one because we got to read it. Yeah, and I got to say something about this. $1.99 from Fred. Hinsdale gals rich and more traditional than the northern suburbs. So yes, Hinsdale's kind of like going west of the city and a little bit south. Just a quick funny romance story for you. This is way back in March, which feels like 10 years ago, but it was less than a year ago. When this whole lockdown was getting started, I had been talking to somebody, on one of these apps, and she lived in Hinsdale. So we were talking on there. Here's the problem with the Hinsdale gals. They may be more traditional, but when you go out there, you see that the homes are well over $1 million. And this girl was almost 30. And she's like, yeah, I want to marry somebody who will just be the one who works. I won't work and I'll raise the kids. And I want to live in Hinsdale. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm like, look, you did a few things wrong here. You should have said this when you were 20, not 30. And two, like, you just basically said you're a gold digger because Hinsdale is very, very pricey suburbs. It's probably like, I can't think of the Twin Cities equivalent, but
Edina, we drop off your money every day. I need attention.
Edina, yeah. So yeah, I just kind of bowed out after that. I'm like, you know what? You really need a rich guy who doesn't mind marrying somebody who's older than 30. And I was just out.
I'm going to say it again. I know the movie theaters are closed, but the movie showing now for every man, young or old, I'd say, but generally our age or younger, the movie that is showing is watching all these girls who delusionally thought that men had no requirements or expectations to be married or fall in love. And these ladies who swallowed this feminist propaganda whole and have wasted their fertile years, their beautiful and young years. And now at the age of 30 or 40 or whatever, now they want to find love. And it sucked at the beginning of that movie. And maybe this is the movie you want to watch, but it's the movie showing, and it's going to play until we're dead because there are so many. The successive younger generations are getting the exact same brainwashing, and they're eating it whole with Tabasco sauce on top. It's not what you want, but it's going to be a fun and interesting show to watch where a 30-year-old from wherever thinks that she's going to be taken care of. And has think about that. She has been so propagandized. She literally told you she was a gold digger.
I do want to at least defend her a little bit.
Okay.
She still lived at home, but she did have a legitimate, like she could easily afford to not live at home. She did have a legit job. So.
Okay. Did she have a legit reason to live at home?
Not really. I did ask her about that. I'm like, well, you work in the city. Why don't you get your own place? And she's like, well, it didn't really make sense because she lost her dad when she was young. And so then she has two siblings younger. So I gave her a pass on that, but not that I want to live in Hinsdale and, not have to work. Forget that.
The GF, in the inevitable day we retire, but we're not retiring. Like, you're going to work. You're going to work.
Right. Even if it's part-time.
There's no not work. Everyone's working because equality, baby. Equality. All right, here we go. Here's DJ Aftershock. This is the answer. What dude bros and Marcus fear the most?
Hard work and
rigor. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, some dude bros are into working hard, but usually it's just for themselves, like their bodies. Fred, $1.99. Will Elkins join Cappy for global reconnaissance? I think of leaving this country all the time. Maybe not right now. But.
Well, let me go do my reconnaissance. I'll report back.
Dre for $2. Does Rolo still stand you up because you're not 6 feet? I thought he was standing at them up.
He stands us all up because Rollo doesn't exist. Once again, he is an AI machine who is a hologram. There is no physical Rollo. He doesn't exist.
Mexican Mike for $2. Dental for taxes for peaches sounds like marriage. No.
Guys, honest to effing Christ. What the hell? What's
Peach? Is that a peach or a vagina?
I don't know. Dental for taxes for peaches. $4 peaches sounds like marriage. No, I don't know what that means. And Mexican Mike is usually one of the more coaches. All right. We got Fred again.
Fred for $1.99. Next time, quit job. Do it like in American Beauty. You mean blackmail your boss?
Yeah. If your boss treated you poorly and you got another job backed up and you can afford it, sure. But I don't know. You don't want to pull Lester Burnham like that.
Or you'll end up like he did.
Yeah. We got some. You like the news?
I like the news. You like the news?
Let's go here. Tell me what's wrong with this, Chad. This is from vulture.com, which is not a real journalistic integrity website, but assuming this is true. 8 months after shuttering the New York City venue, Upright Citizens Brigade, which is a theater, closes LA Sunset Theater. Almost exactly 8 months after the closure of their New York venue and improv training center, the Upright Citizens Brigade has announced the end of their Sunset Theater in Los Angeles. We are posting to update you with some sad news. The organization's 4 founders, Amy Poehler, Ian Roberts, Matt Besser, and Matt Walsh, announced in a statement posted to Twitter Wednesday. We have been forced to sell our theater on Sunset. We have been unable to make mortgage payments during this extended shutdown. How much you want to bet they all voted for lockdowns?
Of course.
Of course.
That's what they do.
Not only the owners of the theater, but the people who participate and wanted to go to the theater. Yep. They all voted for, what's his name, Newsom.
Yeah.
The statement continues. We know this theater was a home for so many, and so many people were responsible for helping it grow. I want to thank all those people and the New York community who were also significantly impacted by recent closures. The coronavirus pandemic was in its relative infancy when UCB's New York Theater and Improv Training Center were shut down in April. So there was already problems beforehand. If they couldn't make it a month into the thing. The organization had previously closed its Chelsea Theater in 2017 when moving to the larger theater space in Hell's Kitchen, and it shuttered UCB East in February 2019 due to the long-term cost of rent, property taxes, and other rent property. Did their voting increase the property taxes and probably the rent too?
It's almost like actions have consequences, you know? What's up with that?
I don't know what. And other expenses that accompanied running the East Village Theater. We are working to maintain our Franklin space and look forward to being legally allowed to gather there, UCB writes about the remaining LA theater, their last physical venue. Okay, we are continuing the process of our theater and school becoming nonprofit. That'll save them, right?
Of course, because nonprofits always get everything efficiently done.
Here it is. Okay, here it is. The organization also says it will conclude our search for a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant in 2021 and work with Project Rethink, an initiative launched by a veteran BIPOC performers over the summer to address systemic racism at Upright Citizen Brigade. Chad, what's wrong with this?
Why is it that always has to be included? Like, what? Maybe are we in the wrong field, man? I feel like if we were like in that racket, you know, this diversity, whatever, feel good thing, we could be making 6 figures for doing no work, you know?
I forget the diversity. It's like the Titanic is sinking. Like the water is like, you could see the water like it's coming at you. And you're like, I should water the plants.
Let's rearrange the deck chairs and play music while the people are.
I'm like, you're an insolvent entity that is chronically losing money, and you will cease to exist, and you're pissing away money on a diversity inclusion hack, and that's what they are. They're all frauds and hacks, by the way. No one believes it. All right. And then the other thing, theater, right? East Coast, West Coast, right? LA, New York, right? Do you think there's one conservative in that group, or one Republican, or even one libertarian in that group?
God, no. And I met a lot of actors for tax stuff.
Right. So my question is this: all right, you're a leftist group. Why are you forcing this unnecessary cost on yourself? You of all people, presumably according to your own ideology, are the ones that care about the black community and the Hispanics and the Asians and all that. Why are you burdening yourself with funds being limited with this unnecessary BS?
Virtue signaling, marketing, just
it doesn't shock me that they have financial troubles with that type of decision-making, executive managerial talent. Where I was just like, okay. Anytime you guys think the left is getting away with something, realize they have to fight through their own stupidity. They have to do that. You like the sports ball, right?
oh, it's my life.
Budweiser, Coke, and Pepsi won't be airing Super Bowl ads this year. Several major brands have decided to sit out their Super Bowl this year. Budweiser, Coke, and Pepsi, which have debuted some iconic Super Bowl commercials in the past, are opting not to pay the astronomical fee for a 30-second ad spot during the big game this year. Instead, some brands are choosing to spend that money elsewhere. Anheuser-Busch, which usually runs Budweiser and Bud Light ads during the Super Bowl, says it's donating the money it would have spent on the ads to coronavirus vaccination awareness efforts. Do you believe that for 1 second?
I do not. Plus, they get real tax benefits for that. So,
do you believe that the help black businesses with your donations at Office Depot? Do you believe any of that money actually makes it into the hands of any poor black entrepreneur or business owner?
having done consulting work for nonprofits, believe me, they get very little of the proceeds they get are actually spent on their cause. Very little, extremely little.
Later this year, Budweiser hopes to support recovery on premise at bars and restaurants. Other brands like Coke and Audi have also decided not to advertise during the Super Bowl. The company's confirmed in statements to CBS News. In its statement, the Coca-Cola company said it has made the decision to sit this year out of the big game. Pepsi, same thing. Other things, M&M's, Pringles, Toyota, all that. Why am I happy, Chad?
Because they're the ones throwing their money away, you know?
Because it's hurting the sports ball. Because what were the advertisements like on the past couple of Super Bowl commercials?
Well, I mean, that they were funny. There were some SJW ones where they were pushing an agenda, but they used to be funny and creative.
And this entire year with all the sports ball, can I just watch a game?
No, everybody's kneeling. Everybody's put stuff on their jerseys like Unity, and I'm just like, ugh. Dude, it's helped. Remember how I used to have an issue with this? I was really into the sports ball. This has done wonders for getting this out of my system. I truly don't have an issue with this. I don't have to watch it anymore.
I'm very happy. And I'm wondering if it's ever going to recover because it's an old watching sports. I think is an old man's game. The younger generations don't watch their sports.
No, and it was a social activity where, we would go to the bar, use the game on as an excuse just to sit, have a few beers, and catch up. Now you can't even go to bars, so it's dead.
I was watching, not by choice, but it was on at a restaurant I was eating at, and it had 3 clowns doing sports analysis. I think it was Fox FS1. What is that? Fox Sports 1?
Yeah.
Okay, FS1. So I looked up the ratings. Do you know what it contracted by in a year? Because the latest data they have is 2018 to 2019. They don't have 2020 yet, or maybe they did. But the latest year of data, do you know what happened to the rankings or the ratings or viewership?
Well, judging by your tone and face, it must have cratered, but I'd like to know why.
Down 13%.
Oh, it's going to be down 100.
You know what you need? You need more black guys with plaid jackets and suits with loud colored ties and thick rimmed glasses. That's what you need. Guys I've never heard of. I need more of those guys. Okay. I need to see Terry Bradshaw making himself an idiot on the internet. I need to see loud colored tie. You know who dressed really dapper though?
Who?
He was on he's the black dude with the missing teeth.
Michael Strahan. He's on Good Morning America.
Yeah. Okay. So that guy, dude. Okay. So he was a professional sports ball guy. Then he makes the leap to broadcasting and television. Mm-hmm. He has his own clothesline. Mm-hmm. And so all these clowns, there's, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw, and they're doing it. They're dressed like just like the color of Troy. They were dressed in this color for their suits and their ties. They just dressed like idiots. There's Michael Strahan, dapper, 3-button with a vest suit, just black, looked like $1 million. It's like, okay, that guy. Let me talk to him. But everyone else, they got to dress like a clown.
You had this funny comment. I can't remember if you had a video about this. This was years ago, or if it was on your blog. It was talking about how some people actually time their getting together to watch sports so they can watch like a pregame. You were having trouble understanding the concept of people sitting together talking about a game that has not happened yet. And I thought that was really funny because I used to like to watch those shows too. But ever since I heard that, I'm like, it's totally pointless to hear about that.
Let me take that, and for the benefit of the listening audience and anyone here, because I'm going to help you out here. There are sports 4. Okay, there are daytime talk shows. There's news. There's sports. And then there is the financial shows, CNBC, Squawk Box, and all that. All 4 of those are a waste of time. They are pretty faces regurgitating stuff that is scripted. There's no serious analysis going on there. You're not getting an edge over investors or sports ball analysis or anything. You are wasting your time. And the reason you are wasting your time is because the real production, the real trading, the real economic activity has already transpired and has nothing to do with the posers and wannabes that cover it. Political analysis, that is a joke. Everyone on Fox and Friends, go swim to China. All right. Everyone on CNN, go swim to Japan in Minecraft. They do not. We're going to give you. But remember, maybe I didn't tell you this. So it was the election that was coming up, and someone said we're going to do 96 hours of pre-election coverage.
Oh,
are you nuts? And people watch that. You think you're being smart. You think you're getting educated. There is no tangible intelligence or information or knowledge being passed on when you have a bunch of washed up dude bros dressed like clowns analyzing what they think might happen in a game that has yet to happen. And you are equally wasting your time watching financial shows where they speculate what real men and women with billions of dollars who actually move the market and actually they're the real market after the fact. And then your sport and your daytime talk shows, I think we all kind of know that there is no difference between The View or Good Morning America and the Maury Povich show. You should, anything. Watch Bugs Bunny. Watch old black and white movies. Watch Kelly's Heroes. Go for a run. All of those are a waste of time. And the reason I'm so adamant about it is because so many people I know in our sphere think it's like, I'm staying on top of politics. You are wasting your time and getting pissed off. It is the equivalent of watching Maury Povich. Stop it. Just watch the game, invest in your 401k. That's it. Do not waste your time watching these people.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Troy.
Troy for $2. Why say many words when a few will do the trick?
Because it's painful to us, Troy. It's painful. We got to read it.
Yeah, it kind of is. Mexi Mike for $5. Maybe one libertarian. I still enjoy a little NPR once in a while. Also, how do you plan on shifting assets overseas when you leave this dumpster of a country? I mean,
the NPR I agree with. I like Money Planet. And how I shift assets, it's I'm not going to be shifting assets. I'm going to be buying them, and I still don't know how I'm going to do that. Like I said, I may have. It's not a lot, but I have some people that I'm like, here's some silver, or go buy me some silver. I have people that are kind enough overseas that would let me stay with them, kind of help me get on my feet. And then, I don't want to be a pariah. So I do have savings overseas in physical form. But another thing I was thinking, like, okay, maybe I buy a house. Well, house you got to maintain. Well, maybe I could buy the land, and land, you can't really necessarily confiscate that. It's a physical land. So that's another way to do it. I got to figure out where I want to go first, though. I can't just start setting up assets like that. So it's and you got to do it right. You got to do it legal. So I have no plan as of yet, but cryptocurrency is one way to do it in a pinch and a crisis. And so hopefully I never have to resort to that, but that's definitely, on the docket. But the first thing is you got to find out where you want to go before you start investing in assets.
Yeah. Fred, 499. Cappy, you mentioned that you were very libertarian. Does too much libertarianism lead to cultural instability we now see, SJW and traditional societies?
Uh, there's no such thing as too much libertarianism because the individuals will check you. Like, if you're a dick to me or you're smoking pot and I don't want pot in my home, I'll kick you out. And most other people will kick you out of your home. Like, I'm for the legalization of all drugs, but in my house, there are no drugs. You can have alcohol, maybe some cigars, but you're not having pot or worse. There are no drugs in my house. And you would have to, so, libertarian, yeah, you can eat whatever you want, but I'm not going to have sex with you if you're fat. It's the individuals that will check society through norms and social mores and etiquette instead of the government. So, there's some key rules and laws like do not kill. The 10 Commandments is a pretty good start. Don't steal. You can covet your neighbor's wife because she ain't going to be married to him long anyway. It doesn't matter. But no, I don't believe there's a limit to liberty. Oh, there's a limit to freedom? No, be as free as you want, as long as you're going to suffer the responsibilities.
Sorry, one sec. I lost. Shoot. Am I still on, dude? Can you see me?
You're still on.
All right. Fred for $1.99. My mom agrees with Chad. It's too hard for women not to be fat and makes every excuse in the book for them. Even though whenever I visit them, they always see me going out for runs, not going crazy with the food. It's just too hard. Azure Fire for $2. Thoughts on Valentine's Day? Dre says it's for Sims. You doing anything for?
No, we always do something after. We'll pick up chocolates for 80% off, lingerie for 80% off. We'll go to dinner after. No, I don't do anything. I don't even do anything for my own birthday. I don't do anything on Valentine's Day.
Well, surprisingly, even some of the more difficult women I've dated, including one you've met, they're actually pretty cool with the fact that mid-February is about as busy as it gets for me. So we ain't doing Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Just how it is.
I don't think you need a holiday. Like if you really like your gal, and I do, I'll randomly buy her flowers on a Tuesday. There's a gemologist in the Black Hills that I go to, and it's not super expensive, but this is a pretty necklace, and I'll go back and bring it back to the GF. But it's Valentine's Day. I'm like, yeah, well, we're not spending 300% more because Hallmark needs to make a profit this month. So. Yeah.
Fred for $4.99. Cappy, you mentioned that you were very libertarian.
Oh, we already got this one.
Yeah, we did that one.
Sorry. So much money, so many super chats to have Atham cut his penis off.
Dre for $2. But Cappy, you couldn't handle the heat in finance.
Dude, do you know how awesome it was to see every bank file for bankruptcy and get bailed out by the government?
I mean, part one was probably fun, but the bailout.
Well, the bailout wasn't fun, but it just showed you what a bunch of frauds and hypocrites that entire industry is. And there was no there's no such thing as a financial genius. You know who all the financial geniuses were?
Who? The Wall Street
frauds and scam artists like Bernie Madoff. He was a financial genius. I mean, okay, you have Warren Buffett. All right, he's a financial genius. Mayor Peter Magellan. He might have been a financial genius. JP Morgan, the guy, might have. But today, there are no financial geniuses. There never was. And it's not like you make it in finance. You lie your ass off. You screw over people. You steal their money. You buy a boat. And then you get inevitably screwed by the feds or you need bailout money. And so and the other thing is I've seen where my bosses have gone. You know where they are?
Where?
Dead or not in banking anymore. You know why?
They lost their shirt.
They lost their shirt and then they got fired. Or they had to shut down the branch. I mean, I know them all, and I mean they're not in banking anymore. So you're not a team player. I was like, okay, well, making more money than you are now because this one guy became a self-declared pastor in Wisconsin, and I drove past his church. It was a freaking trailer. I was like, you freaking scam artist.
A quick thing about this. This is not so much anymore, but a few years ago, I had two in particular clients. They had started their own hedge funds, and they were doing well for a while. They were bringing all kinds of money. But then COVID hit, and the two of them are basically just out everything. And last I heard, one of them was begging some of our classmates, because he is a classmate of mine.
Mm.
He's like, I need one of you to hire me. I'm screwed. I need a job. So,
But dude, bro, 6 figs, y'all. DJ Aftershock, he knows there was remember Lake Minnetonka?
Yeah.
Okay, we went out the YZ Excelsior, all that.
Yeah.
There's an island out there called Big Island, and there was this guy who set up a Big Island venture fund, and I think him and his wife took $2 million in, and then literally the very next day, people saw them with a new boat and a Maserati or a Ferrari, and I think this scam lasted a hot 48 hours before, yeah. And then Dre sent me a picture of this kid, some 24-year-old dopey looking, blonde hair, blue-eyed, nice. I mean, the Chazzy McChazerson, Thaddeus Winthrop III douchebag.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could you give that guy hundreds of thousands of dollars of your money? Like, what is wrong with you?
You guys need to Google Billy McFarland if you want a great example of that. Okay. DJ for $2. Was the Capitol riot crusaderism?
Yes, some of it was. Yes, astute observation, DJ. Yes, a lot of those guys were doing it for themselves and not for the country. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, they did it for social media pictures, some of them.
They did, yeah. Oh.
Holton H for $5. Can you make a gut guess which countries would be good to go to that won't become woke anytime soon? At least not in the next 50 years. God, who knows?
Saudi Arabia, Muslim countries, if you're willing to live there. Dubai, something that you might want to consider.
China?
Yeah, your Asian cultures and countries are not going to go woke, but do you want to live in a communist country or something that's horrendously corrupt? I mean, I go to Japan before I go to China. South Korea, Philippines, Thailand, Laos.
Is Russia pretty cucked, or are they pretty good?
Russia's not woke, but it's cold and they're horrendously corrupt.
Yeah, it's true.
You got to learn a really difficult language. I guess that acrylic language is very difficult.
Yeah.
I hear good things about Central Eastern Europe, but I got to go there. I don't know. But that's my general. That's where I'd go. Some other countries, Latin America, they're getting woke too.
Like Africa's not terribly woke, but the thing is, having spent part of my life growing up there, you don't want to be anywhere in Africa. You just don't.
No, I mean maybe Morocco.
It's probably Morocco and what South Africa used to be. Those were probably the two best. South Africa's way too dangerous now.
Yeah, and then Turkey. Is not. Have you been to Turkey?
No, but it just seems really unstable.
I don't know. There's I forget the economist. He moved out there from the United States, and I guess he likes it. So I really don't know. I'll let you know when I get out there.
Cynic for $2. Nowadays, covering your neighbor's ox is his wife.
I see what Cynic did there.
Yeah. DJ, $2. The Big Island dude wife looks like a Barbie doll. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of those sumo-looking, dudes. Good at that.
I think we're caught up.
Yeah.
Okay, one final article. You hear about this Japanese man you can hire to do nothing? You see this in the news?
No, but I can't wait to see how creative this one is.
So MSN, he's moving in on my gig. This is my Japanese equivalent. This is my Japanese brother across the Pacific. A man who makes a living by renting himself out to do nothing has garnered an enormous following online and thousands of clients. For 10,000 yen, which is 70 British pounds or $100, plus expenses for travels and meals, anyone can rent Shoji Morimoto, 37, from Tokyo in Japan, but he will not do anything except eat, drink, and give a simple response. Morimoto first offered his services in June of 2018 after posting a tweet that read, "I offer myself for rent as a person who does nothing. It is difficult for you to enter a shop on your own. Are you missing a player on your team? Do you need someone to keep a place for you? I can do anything except easy things. I can't do anything but except easy things." Oh, I scrolled down too much. Hang on. Although originally offering his services for free, Moramito now charges to reduce the volume of requests and to discourage time wasters. Does this sound familiar at all, Chad?
I was gonna say, like, is this really all that creative?
Well, it's not creative. It's just like, but he's got to get rid of the time wasters. You had to pare down your clients. I have to increase my rates, and especially if I get a blockchain of text, I have to, do that. He says he sees 3 or 4 clients a day and 3,000 since he first launched his services. This is eerily similar to my numbers over at Asshole Consulting. I do about 3 to 4 videos a day. I've serviced over 4,000 people, but I've been running longer than he has, 2 years longer to be precise. It's just kind of like, wow, hey, I wonder if he looks like me too. People rent him for various reasons, he says, but most are bored or lonely and simply want to be listened to. He has been hired to have lunch, pose for photographs on Instagram, accompany someone filing for divorce, catch butterflies in the park, and to listen to healthcare workers struggling with their work. One man hired him to describe a murder he had committed, while another paid Miramito to take him from the hospital to revisit the spot where he had attempted suicide. Moramito, who is married and holds a postgraduate degree in physics from Osaka University, told the Mainichi newspaper, "I'm not a friend or an acquaintance. I'm free of the annoying things that go with relationships, but I can ease people's feelings of loneliness. I personally don't like being cheered on by other people. It bothers me when people simply tell me to keep persevering. When someone's trying to do something, I think the best thing to do is to make it easier for them by staying at their side," he added. Do you remember old people in Japan now rent children to like come in for holidays?
I've heard that, yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on there in Japan with stuff like this.
I know we think we're very atomized and removed socially from one another, and we have been, and increasingly so, but this has been going on in Japan for quite some time. I mean, you got to pay a guy to stand next to you. In less than 3 years, Moramito, who used to work in publishing but quit due to nothing, has published books about his career choice, inspired a television drama, and acquired 270,000 Twitter followers.
Jeez.
One of his clients posted online, "I'm glad I was able to take a walk with someone while keeping a comfortable distance where we didn't have to talk, but could if we wanted to." Another wrote, I have been slack about visiting the hospital, but I went because he came with me." I'm kind of looking. I just want to see if this guy. Oh, he's got a mask on. He just looks like, I was wondering if he's a particularly handsome dude. He just looks like a regular, normal Japanese dude. Oh, he's standing here in front of Disneyland. So there you go. Why you kids going to college?
Well, I've told you how I swear, and this is back when, meeting in person was a thing. I swear some people would just kind of keep me around to do their taxes because they wanted to talk to somebody. So it's just how it is.
Well, yeah, the old timers, yeah, they just they'll take an hour of your time telling you about this stuff and everything. All right. I think we're all tapped out.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yep, no more super chats. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, sure.
For the older brother. Thanks for not cursing. I'm going to try and monetize this one.
For
thanks for everybody tuning. Huh?
I wasn't cursing the first time. That was just the name of the town. Village in Austria. Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Everybody that's tuning, we've got 136 people. Do subscribe to this channel so the next time we do announce it, you'll get the notification. Check to see if you're still subscribed to the Aaron Clary channel, because sometimes Google boots people off. I don't know, for inactivity or whatever. I don't know. We got Dre, $2. See, you can't let us go. He's like that dog.
Cappy, brave, and stunning life coach. Keep it up. Life coach, yeah. I mean, life
coach, yeah. I hate that phrase. Because they're all such scum. Have you ever actually met a life coach?
I know a few of them. They're not clients, but yeah, they seem like snake oil saleswomen. They're snake oil saleswomen.
Are they even successful?
I would be shocked if they're actually making a real living doing this.
There was this, I had a client, the consultation's online. It's former feminist in her 40s, tries to find love.
I saw that.
So this girl, and she told me she took a class or seminar on understanding men. I'm like, you got to tell me what it's like. So I went there, and of course it's ran by a woman, and oh my gosh, I was like looking at this. I was like, there's no way you're making money on this. No way. But life coach and this and that and help people. Like, oh, shut up. Just shut up. Anytime they're telling you it's easy, the solution to your life is easy, those are your average rank and file life coaches. At Asshole Consulting, we just tell you the truth because it hurts. And we enjoy seeing you in pain and making money off of it. Maybe it actually helps you out in the long run. But my gosh, I so don't want to be lumped in with those people.
Truth over everything, guys. Mexi Mike, $2. Brave and stunning millennial life coach. Yeah, like millennials have all this life experience.
No, I thought you meant I'm coaching millennials.
Oh, I thought he meant that some millennials are like claiming to be life coaches without any life experience, but
right. Right. And no success. Like, yeah, I want to hear from a debt-riddled kid that's got to resort to like life coaching. I'll tell you after, but I got a story to tell you. I can't tell you here, but it was just like, oh, is that what you're doing? Interesting. Good luck with that. But all right, you don't need any more clients, so you don't have to plug your stuff. I will plug my stuff though. However, everyone go buy the Book of Numbers. And why should people buy the Book of Numbers, Chad?
Feel like, and I haven't read it yet, so I need to do this. I feel like you could learn quite a bit from that one and the feedback.
Not the main. That's a reason. It's true, but that's not the reason the 126 people listening now or anyone listening in the future should go buy. The number one reason is why, Chad?
Because they don't want you to see it?
No, because if 127 people will all go out and buy my book now, I would beat Rich Cooper in the Amazon rankings, and that's the only reason. I don't care. It's not even about the money. I want to beat Rich Cooper.
How's Ryan's book doing? Ryan Stone?
Pretty good. He had a ton of audio sales.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did. It's a good book too. So
did he do the voice on his own for the?
I think he did. But out of courtesy to him and because I was also interested, I read his physical book, which is rare for me to do. So like even Rollo's book, I'm waiting for his new one to come out in audio because I don't have the time to read, especially Rollo. I don't have time to read through a 500-page book, and you know it's going to be very dense and time-consuming read. So I have to listen to Rollo's book. But yeah, it was a good book, and I'm glad that he's got sales. It's just I want more sales than Rich Cooper. Okay. Everybody, here's another way you could. Everybody stop buying Rich Cooper's book just so my rate get higher. That's just one or the other. Actually, in serious, have you read his book, The Unplugged Alpha?
Not yet. Like these are things I'm going to do after the season.
Great book. I mean, I give him guff, of course. It was really well written and very digestible. And you may think it's 101, and to a certain level it is. But even you would get, it's just a real smooth read. Very, very well done. Especially for a bald Canadian. So, you get that in there. All right, a couple more super chats and we got to go.
Bacon 223, Red sings the blues is live. Check him out.
Okay. Check him out.
And Dre for $2. But Cappy, only 1 in 4 women have heard. Is it that much?
It's that bad. Well, I don't know. Go buy the book. You think that's the worst statistic in the book. You haven't seen nothing. That's like medium bad in the book. It is the most, hey, are you guys happy? Do you feel good today? Go buy my book, The Book of Numbers, and feel miserable and sad and depressed afterwards. It is that bad.
I'm not going to start reading it until April 16th at the earliest.
It's an audio book too, so you can. All right, that's it. Visit me at assholeconsulting.com. Subscribe to this channel. We'll see you guys later. Take us out, Chad.
Toodles.